welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the continuing coverage here of the WCOOP. Tonight is event number 44. This is a $2,000 no-limit hold'em with a 1.25 million guarantee, and I think it kind of made it a little over that. I think it's right now they got 2.7 million, which I kind of want to ask you guys a little about their guarantees and how they've been just crushing them. So yeah, I'd just like to welcome right now our three panelists. I think they're all on, and if they're not, we'll get them on in a second. We've got Ryan, Rupert, and Jojo. Jojo? Jono.
It's Jono.
There we go. So how are you guys doing tonight?
Doing very well, thank you.
Good, thanks.
I'm pretty good, man.
So Ryan is a veteran. I think it's the first time for Rupert and Jono. Welcome to the show, guys. This should be a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, no problem. So I know that we've been kind of having a private chat here while this has been going on. What do you guys make of it? Were you guys all sad to see Dizzy, Mr. Matt bust out?
Actually, well, I'm sure everyone is pretty happy to see him take 12th. As you know, every poker player knows, there's no more brutal feeling than, making it that deep in a large tournament and not making the final table. Especially especially with the amount of money at risk, $460,000 for first, it's a pretty big deal. And actually the final 12 in this ended up being pretty soft considering. So if I'm him, I'd be like very, very tilted. And well, I'm sure everyone knows about all of his antics and stuff recently. So let's just say karma was served tonight.
The manner in which he busted as well was quite disgusting for him. He had ace king against ace jack, I think, and it came like king. Oh no, maybe against ace something else. But the guy hit a gut shot on the river anyway.
Well, we should be we
so
all should be refreshing Twitter and seeing if anything happens there on Twitter. That should be an interesting development. We'll stay with that. So anybody of note left in this? You guys, I know that I think it was Ryan just said it was a pretty soft field. Does anybody notice anybody in this field that we should be looking at to really take a command of this final table once we get there?
Well, the regulars that I recognize are Asian, 4 High 20, PIU, Lemuria, and Doritos. And while a couple of them are pretty good, I wouldn't necessarily consider any of them to be world-class players, from my own opinion. Like, I thought the 200R final table and the 1K final table and the 10K high roller final tables were much, much, much harder than what this is going to be. But we should still see a lot of good action and should be a lot of interesting situations.
Yeah, the tables look pretty decent. I noticed that Dorito, he started out at my table in this tournament. He was running over our table at the beginning, it seemed like. But besides that, I thought it was going to be a lot more like higher class players. But it still should be interesting seeing some bubble spots right here for sure.
Definitely. So I'm just looking here right now. The short stack is he's definitely on there, Doritos, and that's one of the guys that you said you noticed, right, Ryan?
Yeah, he's a pretty solid mid stakes to high stakes, right? I wouldn't say that he's hard to play versus or anything like that, but he's not bad by any means. He's just, your basic mid-stakes, right?
Okay, fair enough. And speaking of like world-class players, Rupert, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? And I believe you just won an EPT event, correct?
It was a bit over a year ago now, but yeah, I won EPT San Remo in May of 2011 for just over $1 million, or just under €1 million.
Very nice, sir. Very nice. What was that like?
It was pretty cool. It took a while for it to sink in. I was pretty pretty shocked when it happened. It was awesome.
Great. Well, good job, Ryan. You've definitely brought someone to the table that's won $1 million in a single sitting. That's pretty cool. What was the buy-in for that tournament?
It was a €5,000 tournament. Yeah, 5,300 euros. It was my second ever EPT, I think, so that was pretty sweet.
That's pretty sick. It sounds like you have an accent. Where are you from for all of our listeners who are unfamiliar with you?
I'm from England.
Okay. Very cool. We got a big hand going on table 95 right now. All in here. Is ICM playing a big part in these guys' decisions right now, with Doritos being the low stack?
Yeah, everyone should be pretty ICM conscious at this point. I'm not certain as to whether or not a lot of these guys will actually be ICM conscious.
Okay.
Just because there are a lot of
we have
randoms
a call
in
here.
this field.
Ace Queen versus Ace 5. Doritos looks like Doritos takes it down.
Got the double up. This could be a
The
pretty
bubble lasts
extended
longer.
bubble now. Yeah. I would expect this to be a pretty long bubble now without him being short stack anymore.
Okay.
I really wouldn't expect anyone to punt off overly hard or anything like that. But I guess with him no longer being short stack, there should be a lot more action than what there was with him being so short.
Fair enough. If you hear me scream or anything, I have a 10-week-old kitty here that's biting my legs. So he doesn't understand that they're not toys, and he just continually gnaws at my legs. And if anything else crazy happens, it's because I have a flipping monkey running around, and that could get a little crazy later as well. I like
Sounds pretty interesting for you.
Wait, an actual pet monkey, or?
It's a kinkajou. But
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's definitely a very interesting pet combination with a kinkajou and a kitten. The kitten likes to play with the kinkajou, and fights ensue. It's quite fun. But anyways, back to the action. Stop talking about my pets. I was just putting a disclaimer in there if I start to scream.
Good to know.
Exactly.
And if I seem a little bit out of it, I'm currently chip leading the 11 rebuy with 30 left. So
Very nice.
Trying to take that down.
So yeah, are you guys?
Good luck. Good luck.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, John, where are you from?
I'm from Tennessee, Chattanooga, Tennessee.
I was gonna say you also had an accent
okay.
too. So okay, it's good to know.
Yeah.
Are you currently still in the United States, or have you moved abroad to continue to play online?
Right now I'm in Toronto. I've been in and out of Costa Rica for the past like little over a year.
Fair enough, but you made the move up. What do you think of Toronto?
Toronto's awesome. We just we haven't even been here for over a week, so we're kind of just adjusting. We haven't even been outside the hotel room, just been grinding.
You're staying at a hotel in Toronto. Whereabouts? What? I'm actually from Toronto greater area, so whereabouts are you staying? Not the exact hotel, but do you know the area?
Oh yeah, this is embarrassing. Then if you're from there, I'm from we're in Mississauga right now. There's like nothing to do at all.
Oh, I didn't know you were in Toronto now. I'd spent 6 months there end of last year, early part of this year. How long are you staying there for?
Well, we're only going to be here for 3 weeks right now, and then we're probably going to come back in like November, I don't know, for probably around like 3 months.
Oh, cool. That's when I'll be heading back. I'll be going back around December 1st probably, so we should definitely hang out again.
Yeah, Deal's coming out here in like a few days, actually.
Cool.
Well, I'll tell you what. Listen, Mississauga is not as bad as it sounds. You're not too far from a lot of really good areas and stuff like that. So, if you need any suggestions, Jono, I can help you out. It's definitely a good area.
That.
Yeah, Mississauga is really nice. It's a suburb of Toronto, but a lot of good stuff to do.
Yeah, it seems pretty cool. It's kind of relaxing, I guess.
Yeah, if you were I thought you were gonna tell me you were staying at Jane and Finch or something like that, which is probably the roughest area of Toronto. I was gonna say, okay, well now you're having fun.
No, not at all.
All right, so you guys both are. How about tell us a little bit about yourself, Jono, for our listeners who are new to Jono. What's your deal, sir?
Well, I started playing poker like probably 3 years ago. in college, like just like everybody else. And my older brother played for a while and like won a ton of money, even though, well, it was a bunch of money to us, and he really didn't even know what he was doing that much. So he started teaching me how to play, and then he took me to the PCA with him, and I was like in heaven. I didn't know what was going on. There's so much money and so many poker players. It was ridiculous. So I made an account and then just started grinding $2 180s, and then slowly worked my way up in training videos and stuff, and started grinding out MTTs, and then had a decent live score during the WSOP this past series.
Oh, really?
I got I got second in the last 1K, the 4 event, for about 405 US.
Nice, Jono. Nice. How many runners?
First place would have been awesome, but
well, yeah. I mean,
I think it was like 4,600. I think.
Wow. Wow.
Still a pretty decent life, IMO.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, you know, we've got MJW006 in our chat. I'm not sure if you're aware of him, but if you need some help in your heads-up game, I'm sure he'd be willing to give you. I'm joking, Jono, by the way.
No, I need a lot of help with my heads-up game for sure.
No, it's anyways.
I have so many second place finishes. It's not even funny.
That's funny. I mean, just a disclaimer for the audience. I leveled Jono. I asked him to send me a picture, and he sent me a file. And I said, you know, just for the record, I kind of know a little bit about computers, and I'm not going to accept a exe file, and you're not going to hack my lock account. And he didn't know he was getting leveled. So.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think he really stays on top of the. Go ahead.
I was just saying I'm very gullible.
Hey. The people of Tennessee, thank you, sir. It's a beautiful. They're very nice people down there.
Yes, the Southern hospitality is pretty decent.
You're getting.
I'm not from there, but I've lived there since I was like 9, so it took me over. The Southern hospitality is distilled in me now.
I believe there's a song that I wish I could be playing right now. I forget who sang it, but it's Southern Hospitality. I don't have it on cue. We are on break, guys, and I think that we will be joined at the top of the hour by the guy who's really good at this stuff. That's Marco. So why don't we take a quick little break, guys, and we'll be right back. I was thinking on break, you know, like it'd be funny to have on players like Chainsaw with a group of guys like yourself and just ask them, you know, so what would you do in this spot? And I think Chainsaw would be fold pretty much all the time. So anyways,
sounds about right.
Yeah.
Although sometimes I can be correct.
Anyways, we're back. Thank you for tuning in, everyone. Thanks to our commentators for being here with us tonight. We've got, why don't you guys, let's go through it first. Let's go, Ryan, what's your Twitter handle so they can follow you and tweet questions?
I am at PotentialMN. I'm putting it into the chat right now.
And we just had an all-in double up. And so, yeah, and also, thank you, Ryan, for pointing that out for everybody listening. Go ahead and jump in chat. It's right below the QuadJacks.tv homepage. Just sign in with Twitter or Facebook, and you can interact with all of our guys. Rupert, what's your Twitter for all of the people listening? Rupert might still be on break or still muted. Let's go to Jono. Jono, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
What's your Twitter?
It's at ballday12_3G.
All right, I'm going to paste that in chat for everyone. It's not the easiest one, Jono, to remember.
Sorry about that, man.
Sorry, mine's at Rupert E. I didn't realize I still had it muted.
Yeah, yours is easy. Jono's is a little bit tough. Give me 1 second, guys. All right, so looks like we got a 4-bet here, yes? No, 3-bet.
That looks like a undergun raise with the undergun +1 raise with the button 3-bet. And then looks like big blind's trying to decide whether or not to 4-bet or flat or fold. Yeah, it's like this is a great spot to cold 4-bet. for tons and tons and tons of different reasons. First of all, cutoff raise to a button 3-bet, like people are just going to be late there a lot. And then you also have to look at the fact that this is a pretty big bubble as well. So this is a great spot to apply pressure as one of the big stacks. You know, it really locks up cutoff. Like he has to decide whether or not he wants to ship it in and, you know, do it somewhat light with a hand like ace-jack or like tens. Like, unless he has like queens, kings, or aces, he's hating light. Then we'll see what he has.
I like the sizing of his 4-bet too, because it's more like the action is going to get the same thing done as the amount. You know, so you might as well conserve the same amount. And it also looks like he might actually have a hand to induce with.
Yeah, agreed. All in and a call ace-king to ace-king, and a chop.
What do you guys put his range on there? The kid.
He's generally going to have like blockers, sometimes like just random suited cards, just any kind of hand that will make him think, oh, I have blockers, I have some equity. Like I'm not, like he doesn't want to just like do it with like 8-3 offsuit, because if he like turns it into a habit, like cold 4-betting or 4-betting lot or whatever, it's going to be a bad habit if he just randomly does it with hands that don't have any equity or very bad hands. So what a lot of regs like to do is to balance themselves by only doing it with like hands that have blockers or hands that are like suited.
Yeah, I'd say like his get-in range there, he'd probably get in jacks, maybe tens, and then ace queen, I would have thought. and I'd say he's like pretty polarized.
You mean the 5-bet shove?
Sorry, the kid when he cold 4-bets.
Oh, okay. And here we got another hand. We got a hand
like
on
I think
table
he'd
15.
Oh.
Yep, all in a call. Aces versus threes. Wow.
Just dodging that one outer, and he held. That was
Doritos come back quite nicely. He was the short stack not so long ago. He's had 3 double ups since we've been here.
And he's now
How big was that pot?
That was a massive pot.
Huge pot.
I think, ladies and gentlemen,
I expect Doritos to hit it in. Go ahead.
Sorry.
It looked like a lot of people would probably think that punting the threes there would be like pretty much pure spew or whatever, but no, it's 5-handed, and then it's cut off for his button, and you're also on a pretty big final table bubble. And once Doritos 5-bets, like he's so polarized there anyways that Asian can just ship it in with all hands that have a lot of equity, and it's going to be pretty, like Doritos 5-bet ranges are just air nuts, so it's probably going to be a really profitable shove, I would say.
Sounds good. Listen, I'd like to welcome at Agent Marco. Marco, welcome to the panel, sir.
Hi. How's it going, panel?
Hi, Marco.
Rupert.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Rupert and Jono. And Ryan. What's up, guys? I'm
Hey,
sorry.
man, how are you doing, buddy?
Not bad, not bad. I'm meeting Rupert and Jono for the first time, I think. Have we met before?
No, I don't think we have.
No.
Yeah, I think this is the first time. I follow you on Twitter. I'm a big fan.
Yeah, and you know what, Rupert? I think I started following you recently because I noticed you followed me, and I don't know. I can't say I know that much about you or your accomplishments, Rupert. Although I'm sure they're plentiful. You just looked like someone that I should have been following. Understand? And I got a couple of people. Yeah.
I play a lot of the live tournaments, so I sort of hang out with you know, that sort of person, especially the European guys.
You know,
Okay,
Marco.
yeah.
It's funny, Marco. I said to all these guys today. It's just I know that I saw Ryan like 1,000 times this summer. It's too bad we didn't know all these good guys and done some interviews with them this summer.
It's very regrettable, and wow, thanks for putting an entire downer right here at the beginning of my arrival, Zach. But
it could be worse.
But
Marco.
yeah, so it could be worse.
I was going to intro you.
I was to talk to you.
Your intro was going to be that we're now joined by the expert panelist Marco, but you know, there's a second downer.
look, I was listening to this for a little bit right before I came on, and which table are we looking at? By the way,
we're right. I'm kind of going back and forth. We're focused on 95, but 15, the secondary table, is being brought up for the viewers as needed.
Okay. But anyway, yeah. So don't mean to interrupt the action, but Rupert, good to meet you finally. I appreciate you being a fan, and again, I'm a fan of yours as well. I didn't mean to sound disrespectful. I pointed out how little I know of your detailed scores, but I knew who you were, and I was happy to hear that you were going to come on the program. As for you, Jono, could you tell me a little bit about yourself so that we can get along a little bit better throughout the rest of this session?
Yeah, man, I'm from America. I moved about last August. I moved to Costa Rica after Black Friday. I didn't go to the series, but I was trying to do other live series, and it just wasn't the same. So I moved to Costa Rica and kind of crushed a little bit. First time I ever got back, and kind of loved it because I was like free to play whatever. And then did well at the series this past year and doing good so far. So just kind of blessed, just going with it. I'm in Toronto right now and just kind of traveling. I'm going to be doing the EPT San Remo that Rupert won last year. It's going to be my first time in Europe, so I'm pretty psyched about the things that are coming up, though.
Rupert, where are you in the world?
I'm in London right now.
We're in London right now. Thanks so much for staying up. I mean, maybe you were going to be up anyway.
Yeah.
Regular schedule of the WCOOP, but and Jono, you're in Canada.
Yes.
And Ryan, you're in Mexico.
Yep.
Now, I have to ask this as well. I mean, and by the way, Ryan has been amazing in the last couple of days, just putting the word out about what we're doing here at QuadJacks, among the MTT community, and it was he who was instrumental in staffing today's panel. So I want to know, like, how do you guys know each other? I mean, you're all in different countries right now. Do you work together, correspond? Are you friends? When did you meet?
Yeah. I don't know how I first met Jono, but about a year ago I got him hooked up with my ex-backer, and he started getting backed by him. So we started talking a lot because of that. And then
he's owed you since, and this is today's favor. That's awesome.
Yes.
Thank you for passing the favor on to us.
And then
I'm very grateful.
Rupert and I ran into each other at the World Series last year.
Okay.
Kind of just started talking.
Rupert, were you at the series this year?
Yes, I was. I actually spent most of the series sat out because I broke my leg, so that was annoying.
Oh, that's awful. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, what was more awful was the Vegas uninsured medical bill, but...
Please, guys, we get enough Obama and Romney ads on the youth screen as it is, okay? The people have had enough. Let's not get into that now. All right, guys, well, listen. Thanks so much for putting up with me. Okay, so what are we looking at here? We're down to 10. Now, how long have we been at 10 for?
Well, with Doritos making his massive return in chips, going from 500K to nearly 5 million. We've been up like from 12 and less for a while. It's probably been like nearly half an hour. So it's been a pretty long bubble.
Okay. And give me a hand, guys. I mean, who makes up this? Well, it's not even a final table. Who makes up this? These tables. I mean, who's in? Who do you guys know? Who do you guys like? Who should we be aware of? Let's hear Rupert's assessment first. I'm quite taken by his British accent so far.
I actually don't recognise very many of the names. I recognise Doritos and 4 High 20, but I don't know anything specific about them. I feel like I probably should know 4 High 20 given that his location's UK. I googled him earlier and it was Marco someone, but no one I recognise, so... So yeah, it's like fairly unknown to me, but I think Jono was saying that he knew quite a few of them.
All right, Jono, let's hear it.
Well, Doritos and the YRW, I don't know, THM Melt, I don't know, they were both at my table in the same event, and they both had chips early, like, I mean, right away, probably doubled up both of them. And I like to see Doritos pretty good. I don't actually know why. I just had a bunch of hands against him. He's like a mid-stakes guy. So you like to see mid-stakes guys win big tournaments. It's pretty exciting. But besides that, I don't know too many. I know of the Asian, but I don't know too much about their game or anything like that. I've seen the name a few times.
Got it. Ryan, anyone catch your eye?
No, it's pretty much the same as them. Like, I've got a lot of hands with PIU, with 4 high 20, with Doritos, with Asian, with YRW. But, like, I can't really say all that much about any of them outside of the people who I have a decent enough history with to say that these guys are really good. 4 high 20 is really good. PIU is really good. And then I'm fairly uncertain as to exactly how good Doritos is, or Asian is, or YRW. All I know is that they're mid-stakes regs and they've got some decent results, but it's definitely not as much of a star-studded table as, say, that 1K earlier. Surprisingly.
Yeah, I expect it to be more straightforward than like some of the other sick final tables that you see. I mean, not exactly straightforward, but just like as modern day straightforward means.
Yeah, Ryan, which one was it? You remember the one the other day that Casey and Mark were helping out with? Wasn't that like an amazing final table, minus for that one guy who ended up going out second?
Yeah, the 200R was pretty sick as well. Like, I'm actually really surprised at how soft this final 27 was in this. I mean, you have a couple pretty big names, but you know, I was expecting this 2K to have a really sick final 27. Instead, had a pretty solid final 27, like one big Ace Ho, Jao Bar, Umberto Brenes, Lizzie, Randall In, you know, Shanking You, Matt Marfiati, ADZ124, BBB33, but you know, for the most part, like this final 10, like only a couple like decent names, and I agree with what I believe Jono or whoever said earlier, that it's going to be a pretty straightforward final table. We did see a lot of action between Asian and Doritos with the 6-bet shoving of pocket threes to aces. And we'll probably see a little bit of that now and then, you know, people getting out of line and doing some crazy stuff. But I don't think it'll be like the 1K or 200R to any degree. It'll be a much more calm, straightforward final table.
Okay. This surprise you? I mean, first of all, can we look a little bit at the numbers? A little over 1,300 entrants in this 2K. Was that regular? Were you expecting more? Ryan?
I was actually expecting a decent number less. The night before, I was telling people expect between 1,000 and 1,250, and I'd be surprised if it got over 1,250. And even then, when it was starting, it still only had like 650 runners. But I guess there were a couple really big satellites to it that finished right at the end, and it just started piling up. Then with 3 hours of late reg and this kind of deep structure, ended up getting a much bigger field than I expected.
How many people on this panel played this?
I did.
Yeah, I played it.
Yeah, I played it as well.
Okay, so everyone played it. Jono, how did you do?
I couldn't get anything going. I just like, I don't know, it was a lot of post-flop coolers because like you're so deep, you just like, I don't know, you run into a lot of situations where your hands that feel like the nuts like become real marginal by the river, and then you end up paying somebody off, and it's Sunday, so you're frustrated, so whatever.
By the way, is it okay for me to ask how you guys did in this tournament? Because like lately, the more we're doing, the more these kinds of tables we're doing, I'm learning some MTT etiquette with which, like I think I said earlier, I am not yet completely familiar. For instance, I just learned recently that it's impolite to express condolences to someone, or to say good job. Excuse me, to say good job to someone if they made a deep run but came short of the final table. I didn't know that, and I was mortified. Yeah.
Well, with something like that, it's a bit different. Like, if someone takes 9th place in a tournament, they're unhappy. They're pissed off. Like,
Right.
and, well, you know, all they're thinking about is top 3. You know, thinking about Vegas and the Mirage. Get a little... But, like, you know, so what I see a lot on Twitter and stuff these days, or what a lot of people like to say, is congratudolences, which is nice run, but fuck your life. And you know, pretty much how you feel is nice run, god damn it.
Well, is it okay to ask how you guys did, or would you rather not share for whatever reason?
Oh yeah, I
Doesn't
think
bother me on
Apple
the
is
slightest.
fine.
Alright.
I doubt any of us care.
Maybe I should have we should have like a form or a waiver before people come on this program. They agree to answer the following questions, you know, or to be subject to my ill-timed congratudolences. Ryan, tell us about your own performance in this tournament, even though I think I know it because you were telling me yesterday, I think. Or
Yeah,
today.
mine was the same as John. I was like, I started off pretty well, but I had a really tough table draw. I had like Paul G's on my direct left and another really good reg. And I ended up running a bluff first G's that did not work, that I'm kind of upset that I made. And then I ended up getting coolered a couple of times in it in some pretty standard spots as well, and then just couldn't get anything going.
Oh, that's awful. Rupert, but at least tell us that you managed to get something going, whereas these other 2 gentlemen couldn't.
Yeah, I did actually. I made day 2 of this tournament. I think I peaked at about 250,000, which was pretty decent. But then I ran a big bluff against a fish where I kind of knew he was weak, but he ended up calling me with third pair anyway, so it probably wasn't a very good bluff. And then I eventually, on day 2, I lost 8s against Ace King.
I see. Okay. How have the rest of your WCOOPs gone so far, Rupert? Starting with you.
It's been okay. I've won money on other sites during the WCOOP, which has been decent thanks to the inflated player pools and stuff. But my actual WCOOP hasn't been going so great. Actually, on Monday or Tuesday, I just went to New York until Sunday, so because I was just sick of it all.
Well, listen, guys. I realize now it's been about 15 minutes that I've just kind of flirted with you. Let's talk about some of this action. The honeymoon is over, but now I feel like I'm in a better position to communicate. Which table are we looking at now? Are we still on 95, or the one worth? Which one are we looking at here? Let me see. Somebody could be helping me. Maybe not one of you guys. You're 95. Okay, no, we're at table 95. Okay, so I guess we're going to be staying on this one, especially because there's a pretty big pre-flop pot brewing. There's an all-in actually by Alna the Kid. Hope I'm saying that correctly. Versus Haram Para, who is considering whether or not to call off a very good deal of his stack, it appears. Alna the Kid is the one. I think that's a Terminator avatar. And Hanna-Barbera, or whatever his name was, he's now gone into the timer, so it's difficult for me to see. I can probably just move my... Yeah, here we go. Haram Para has 42 seconds or so. Oh, and he folds. Okay. The blinds are going up. So, who do we have at this table? About 5 people. Jono, having observed this table, who would you say has impressed you the most thus far, based on the play you've seen?
I feel like it kind of like everybody's also all taking like the same spots, like kind of just passing chips around. Like you're gonna see a lot of like just all in or not all in things, just more like pre-flop, free bets and folds and stuff, because they're not gonna want to play too much post flop. Not saying they're not, capable of playing post flop, but they're gonna be more comfortable just sticking in the 4-bet and taking it away pre and stuff like that. So it's just gonna be a lot of the same spots 3 and 4 betting until you just like run into a cooler or win a flip. That's kind of what it's been like so far.
Well, do you think maybe we're seeing a little bit more of this now that everyone knows they're on the final table bubble? Do you think things might conceivably change up a little bit once we do get to the final table?
Yeah, for sure. I'm sure nobody really wants to go out 6 through 9, so they're not going to exactly just be knitting it up. Now that they're at the final table, they're going to be looking for the right spot to get the double up or get it in the spot to build some chips. But I suspect that as soon as you get to the final table, people will start loosening up just a little bit more.
Well, hopefully. Ryan, was there someone from this table that we should be that we were supposed to be aware of based on our identification of the players earlier?
YRW is the only name that I recognize, and honestly, I don't really recognize them all that well. These other guys I barely have any information on, so it's pretty much, all just going to be figuring people out as we actually watch them play.
I see. I think I can tell what you mean. This hand so far has been going on for a little bit, it seems. And it looks like it's been, yeah.
And I think what Jono said earlier about there being a lot of 3-betting, 4-betting, 5-betting in this kind of situation. I think maybe say in the 1K field, how much harder it was, that people would be a lot more willing to take hands post flop and more comfortable putting people in difficult decisions there. It's a lot harder to hand read properly post flop. So you're probably more apt to see the huge 4-bet, 5-bet, 6-bet wars, especially 5-handed in this compared to in, say, a 1K.
Now I'm looking at the list of entrants. I see their short stack is 7 sorry for you. And what has he got? He's got a little over 20 bigs, doesn't he?
Yeah, about 20 bigs.
Okay, so he's not completely on life support, is he? Or what does it mean when people are on life support? That's like a really, really bad chip standing, isn't it?
Well, I think something like that is very, very tournament and game dependent.
Okay.
I've just realised actually that 7 sorry for you is the player that I tried bluffing. I think he's certainly a bit weaker of a player. I think a bit of a... He called a 3-bet of mine out of position with 9-7, and we got 5 bets in on the flop when he just had a straight draw. So
that's what I'm saying. Like, how doesn't it strike anyone else as a little eerie that such a large concentration of anonymous or unimpressive apparently players made it this far? I mean, the final table seems to have all the makings of a comedy. If we if we pay enough attention, it should be a good time. Okay.
Well, I want
to hear some disdain from you guys, especially you, Rupert. I don't want to give this 7 sorry for you guy any mercy whatsoever. All right.
I think
yeah, go ahead.
Pretty popular saying among tournament regulars is that variance is a bitch, and as we look at this field and as you see the lineup of Final 27 and what this final table is going to be made up of, I'm sure a lot of guys will be saying, yeah, variance is a bitch.
I was thinking of something because I think Jono, you said that you didn't make it, but Brian, you were at the World Series of Poker this year, and Rupert, you were as well, and I think...
Oh, no, I was there also.
Yeah, he final tabled an event. He did better than I did this summer.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jono. I must have completely misunderstood what you said earlier.
Oh no, it's okay.
Okay, so you were all there. That's wonderful. Then I can pose the question to all of you. I think, Brian, I know you're familiar at least with... you guys might all be, but with the hardcore grind that QuadJacks put in at that desk, okay?
Right.
Yeah, you guys, I saw you pretty much every single day at the Rio. We got an all-in and a call, basic flip, and short stack holds, and this bubble continues.
And that's how marginal players get deep in tournaments. But it's because it seems like it's becoming harder to for bad players to win tournaments. I remember a few years back, every once in a while a bad player would just somehow win a tournament. But it seems like less they're going deeper in final tabling tournaments. But it's the play is getting so good by the more advanced players. It's just harder for bad players to just completely luck box a tournament and shit the whole thing.
Okay. So how do we account for this tournament here?
Well, I wouldn't say that we've got a lot of really bad players here. We just have a lot of players who aren't very well known. And it's especially with events like WCOOP, you're going to see a lot of players who have very few games played on Pokerstars who are going to be playing very, very, very well. Either they're cash players on other Euro sites or MTT players on other Euro sites or live MTT players. It's pretty hard to say these days whether or not someone's legitimately a reg or not until you actually just see them play. So while we might not recognize a lot of these guys, we might have some very high level of play.
Okay. Well, I didn't mean to imply that, actually I did kind of explicitly suggest earlier that this was going to be funny. But what I was trying to get is that, can we, what's going on? The WCOOP has been going on for a little bit. I can imagine, it's been a massive grind for you guys. I know you, Ryan, play a lot. I mean, does that happen as well? Is there a mid-series crisis for something like the WCOOP as well?
As far as people getting sick of it?
Well, I don't know about sick, but as far as maybe a condition that affects enough players or a great enough part of the player pool to be noticed, to be evident in what we see from runs or player participation. And all these things. No, nothing.
I probably wouldn't say something
I'm absolutely off base here. Everyone plays every day of the WCOOP exactly like they would the first and last days. So
yeah, I definitely noticed some withering. I think other Europeans do as well, because it's 3:30 a.m. here now, and there's a good chance I won't be in bed until 7 a.m. So I pretty much don't see much daylight. It gets pretty wears on me.
See, I mean, look at table 95. I mean, we've look at this. We saw. I'm not sure if Shergar made a raise. I think he or she might have, but then I think we saw another raise by All-In the Kid, another raise by Haram Para, and then an all-in shove by Shergar.
Yep.
And now Haram Para is once again going into the tank.
He's most definitely folding here.
Yeah, once he starts taking, he's almost never calling off.
Okay. These are this is a nice payout too, right? I mean, first place is almost $500,000. That's awesome. I mean, it seems like a lot of money. I'm
pretty sure that's the biggest first place prize of WCOOP so far.
Really?
This year.
Really, I thought one first place went a little over 500,000. Maybe the high roller.
Well, yeah, I thought that was the high roller.
Yeah, the high roller. I guess outside of a 10K.
Now, am I mistaken here? Do we actually have a big pay jump from 9th to 8th as opposed to from 10th to 9th?
Yeah, it looks pretty decent. Yeah, because from 10th to 9th is only a $5,000 pay jump, but from 8th to 9th is 14,000. That's a pretty big pay jump.
24,000. Yeah, it's an 80% jump in payout. That's massive. I'm kind of surprised it's that big, especially when everything before it was nothing, and then all of a sudden just super ramps up. And that's probably why this final table bubble is playing out so long, is that everyone is aware of the differences between, even just the difference between 10th and and 5th is $112,000. That's a pretty big jump in money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see. It looks like we have some short stacks a little bit more at risk. 4 high 20, whom I think Rupert was saying was one of the guys you had looked up and, you know, who had looked kind of good. Is that correct?
Yeah, he was an English. I only looked him up because he was an English guy, and I recognised the screen name, or from Great Britain, I should say. Yeah, I don't know a ton about him, but I think he's. Ryan said that he was decent.
Okay. Well, he's down to, I think, just a little over 10 bigs here, and I think also the
yeah, YRW is as well.
Yeah, at the other table, the person whom Ryan recognized.
Hopefully one of those short stacks will finally bust and we can get onto this final table.
Yeah, I'm getting a headache. I have to go back and forth.
I think they've been 10-handed for almost an hour now.
Yeah, this has been a pretty long bubble. It wouldn't surprise me that once we do hit that final table, especially like once we hit about 6-7 left, that it'll really ramp through. Like making the making any kind of final table like this is pretty big, and I think the last thing anyone wants to do is bubble it.
Yeah, as soon as we're down to 9, it's going to turn into Zoom poker.
Yeah, I suspect that like probably 4 and 5 hands will last a decent amount of time with like the 30-minute blind level after all the stacks bust. Everybody's going to be probably pretty deep. The structure's pretty decent for the final table, I think.
A friend of mine just told me that 4 high 20 is a cash grinder, and apparently he made a deep run in the WSOP main event this year.
Really? Cool. We have a flop here at table 95. Is it just me, or does it look like the other table? Let me see what number it is. 15. Okay. Is it just me, or does it look like table 15 waits on table 95 more often than the other way around? Is that just? Am I just completely making that up? Because it looks like there's a little more action in 95.
Yeah, definitely.
That's partly due because of the stack sizes. Like on table 95, I mean, you have 2 stacks, just like with 3.3 billion. Those stacks are like almost identical, and then there's only one super short stacks, and the other 2 stacks are, I mean, they have enough that they can do some raise holding, but all the other ones it's just Doritos opening or maybe Asian opening, and then it's just like check fold every other time.
See, I don't. Well, here we have an exception for a change. I mean, I think table 95 was done before the flop, and here we go. Pulimera and folds. You said that once we reach the final table, things would be moving more briskly. But now that we've determined that the big pay jump is from 9th to 8th, can we really expect that to be the case? Won't things continue to be rather cautious once we get to that final table and that 9th person finally goes out, Ryan?
Well, I think a lot of people put a lot of weight into making final tables. I mean, I definitely do personally. I think making a major final table is a lot better. Like saying you took 9th in something, just sound like I made a WCOOP final table sounds a lot better than I took 10th in a WCOOP. It just sounds a little bit better, a little bit more prestigious. And I do think that when a lot of people make the final table, their mindset kind of changes to, oh, hey, now I can actually try to win this thing, versus, hey, I'm trying to make the final table.
Well, okay, but from a purely pragmatic point of view, and once again I stand to be corrected, but aren't pay jumps usually linked to the final table, in the sense that there's the pay jump is from 10th to 9th, so that this prestige, I guess you could say, about the final table is also accompanied by a nice monetary reward. Now, so assuming that's the case, and from a purely pragmatic point of view, shouldn't the players, only allow themselves to get giddy once they've lost the ninth player?
And we have the final table now.
Oh, see, all you have to do is talk about the final table, and the final table happens.
YRW just lost a pretty standard spot versus Haram Para, a flip. King 10 suited versus Ace Queen offsuit. Ace Queen on the flop, and no gutter ball for YRW, and he'll be our 10th place finisher for $23,000.
Now is where we get to put our theories to the test, unless another guy goes out here at this table. Ryan, we'll see if things pick up here that we're down to 9, or if that we're going to spend another hour admiring the snail pace.
I would expect the mid-side stacks to kind of wait around a bit while the short stacks try and double up, and the big stacks try and bully everyone else for the most part at the final table. So I'd expect the mid stacks mostly to try and do some laddering.
Well, here's your boy Rupert. 7 sorry for you is leading out here on a turn which completes a flush, or could make a flush of clubs.
It wouldn't surprise me here if he had a flush.
Okay. Did we switch tables? Are we on table 15 on the stream? Zach, if you can hear this?
Yeah, table 15.
Okay, wonderful. And here we are. Welcome to the final table. All right. By the way, there was like a big rail on table 15, wasn't there? A lot of people, a lot of observers,
Doritos appears to be pretty well known by some well-known 2+2ers. I saw Kirby Nate around the rail, and people are making jokes about him coaching him. So, and I think Doritos himself might be a 2+2er as well, which is why we would see that big of a rail. I don't know who he is though.
Okay. All right. So the short stack here is 4 high 20. I believe, has been a short stack for a little bit now. Who's got the lead? It's Doritos, actually, with Hiram Para on his tail. Not too distant now. Well, it is about 10 bigs, it looks like. But, okay. So here we are. Yeah, Doritos is certainly interacting with some of the rail. We have a raise from... Is that an L? Alan the Kid? We're just gonna...
Yeah, I think it's Alan the Kid.
Alan the Kid.
Do you think Asian is 3-bet folding here very often?
It is all in, so Alan the Kid...
It's a decent spot for him to be, I guess.
Yeah, this is a really good late 3-bet spot. Yeah, he should be 3-bet folding a lot.
Who should be 3-bet folding a lot? Asian?
Yeah, Asian, as we just saw there with Alan's ship over the top, and Asian's pretty quick fold.
And Asian's one of the ones I had recognized too, at least seen his name deep in a few tournaments, the higher tournaments.
Now explain that to me, Ryan. Why should someone be 3-bet folding a lot there? What do you mean by that?
Well, a mid-position raise, like, let's see here. Who's in the big blind there? I'm pretty sure with 4 high 20s, like stacking the big blind, that Alan the Kid might not necessarily be raising, maybe say all that light, but he's still going to have a fairly wide range. And Asian's 3-bet there is actually going to look all the more stronger because of 4 high 20s big blind stacks. So unless Alan has near the top of his range, he's pretty much is always going to be in a pretty difficult spot there. And with 9s and even with 10s, you're kind of uncertain as to what you want to do. I mean, Ace Queen and Ace King, you just ship it in and see what happens. But a lot you just get put into really difficult spots there pretty easily. And I think that Asian is going to be very aware of that.
Now, I don't. Do you think all in the Kids shove all in was a little too high, a little too big?
Yeah, I really dislike it. Although he probably had a hand like Ace-Jack suited, Ace-10 suited, King-Queen. He might have even had 9s and 10s. Like,
Yeah, I was thinking like 9s or 10s.
yeah, his shove is essentially saying, I have a value hand, but I'm not nutted, and I really don't want you to shove on me, and me have to make a call. Like, he doesn't want to be put into a really bad spot. And yeah, it was like 32. It was around 30 big blinds effective, a little bit over, and 4-bet shoving there. Like, I think a lot of regulars, when they're nutted there, they're just going to be 5-bet and trying to induce a shove, and with their air, they're just going to be 5-bet and trying to induce a shove. So when he does 4-bet shove there, it kind of flips up his range, but it probably doesn't really matter.
Because when he is called, I mean, A is going to be like bladed a high percentage of the time, and at least like Ace Queen plus like very very bottom of his range probably.
Well, wait, hold on a second. If you're Asian there, I'm sorry to be dwelling on this hand, but if you're Asian there and you see that raise, that mid-position raise, by the kid with 4 high 20 in the big blind, what is Asian raising there with?
He probably has some sort of like blockers, or like something with enough equity that if he has to call 4 at 20, he can like make different kinds of hands. He's not just like 9-4 off there or anything like that.
Yeah, definitely. He has to have a lot of equity there to do it, but he's definitely going to be light there a lot.
Okay. All right. Well, a couple of chips of exchange hands since we studied that hand up close.
With how short 4 high 20 is, this final table is probably going to, like, I think 9 to 8 will probably take a while. Excuse me.
Well, Haram Para gets a walk. I mean, a lot of folding to 4 high, who shoves it all in. Shoves his remaining 12 or so, I want to say. Now, if you're all in the kid there, well, you fold. What do we know from, or what can we, how much do we know from 4 high 20 that we can, that we can put him on some can we tell anything about his all-in range at this point, based on either what we know of him or what we've seen of him so far, given his position?
Let's see. Well, people tend to shove a little bit tighter in. 1 second, I got a pretty big hand myself. Jono could answer it pretty well.
The final table like this, I mean, for somebody who's not just like hasn't just won like multiple ones of these, he's not going to be like hitting exactly, but it's not going to be like he's just going to be shipping it in light like he would at probably like some like 55 freeze out final table or something. But I expect him to still like get it in the plus EV spots. I mean, he knows what, since he plays enough and everybody's recognized him enough, he's going to be jamming it in there with like his, I don't know, from the spot he just jammed, like his in his late position shove, he'd probably have like queen 10 plus, like all his pairs and a lot of the suited aces. Like,
would you describe, Jono, this table as lackadaisical at this point?
Yeah, a bit passive, I'd say. I mean, there's definitely the few guys. I wouldn't say it's like they're bad players. It's just everybody's definitely.
Let's just be honest. We all hate these people. Come on, enough sugarcoating it. Go ahead, Jono.
Yeah, they're definitely not a lot of fun. They're pretty passive, but I mean, I'm sure under once it gets to like probably the higher money, like 6 or 7 handed, maybe people will start getting into next level thinking. I'm sure. I don't know. People might have the final table jitters right now.
I'm just trying to determine, like, how much of this table image, or how much of just the table atmosphere, 4 high 20 can use to his advantage here if he wants to get himself out of this hole. It's in the big blind now, so
He's definitely gonna need a double. Which
every hand is different. Once 4 high 20 is in the big blind. Is that the case? Everyone, and here we go. Like before, all in the kid makes a raise. This time Asian does not 3-bet him, and it's down to 4 high 20. Who is going to
Probably fold here.
Yeah, it's folding. How could you tell? How can you tell that he's probably folding and then he folds?
Because he's getting in with like the top of his right there.
Yeah, he's going to have a pretty tight range to shove it in there. Alden has a pretty massive stack. Like everyone's aware that that 4 high 20 is a short stack, and I would say that most people should be aware that 15 big blinds these days is a really good 3-bet shove stack to just put it in somewhat light. So I don't think Allen's going to be opening that light there, and it's probably mostly going to be hands that he's calling a shove with. He does, like, 4 high 20 does have some fold equity, but I don't think it's all that much. Like, he would have a lot more fold equity if he was on the button, I would say, just because it's just a much, like, people aren't going to be opening quite as tight when they see a shorter stack in the button or cutoff, so you can shove a little bit lighter.
Okay, well we have a 3-way pot here. There was a min before the flop and 3 callers. One of the guys.
It seems like Sorry For You does a lot of like donk leading here, like this. Like even if he wasn't the original raiser pre-flop, being the first one to lead out. I don't know how much it's worked for him. I don't even know what his hand range is usually for it. I'm sure it's like weak hands and draws like the classic donk leaders, but I'm not sure if it's been working good or bad for him so far.
Well, I mean, look, out of this entire panel, I think Rupert is the person most qualified to provide a dossier on 7 Sorry For You. So, Rupert, how would you get inside this person's mind?
I think
look at that silly avatar. Is that a Dalmatian?
Unsure what the avatar is. Some sort of dog. He was the pre-flop raiser in that hand, right? I think that.
Yeah, I was talking about that.
You're right. Yeah. I think like I just kind of regard him as a fish and like just try and get a value hand against him, and like he's good. He seemed to be pretty happy to get it in quite light post flop against me, like which sort of indicates that he's quite aggressive too. So I don't know. I'd just try and like make a hand against him. I definitely wouldn't bluff him. Well, again.
Here we go. Come on, 4 high 20. Yes, he shoves 500,000 and gets all folds and picks up a small and big blind. And
blind going up is definitely going to affect a few decisions in the next few hands, I'm sure.
This is a pretty well-structured tournament, though, for everyone else, isn't it?
Yeah, everyone else is pretty deep. The only other person who's under 20 bigs right now is Sugar, and average stacks looks like it's like what 46 big blinds.
Well, here we go. A min by Torcolort1, from whom have we seen a lot of activity. Oh, here we go. And there's a re-raise by On the Kid in the big blind. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know. I've seen a lot of tenacity from On the Kid the last couple of hands. Was this the case before? Does he not appear like the person most willing to put his money out there, even if he's up against a desperate big blind?
Yeah, he seems to be by far the most active at the table, and he might and he might be picking up on everyone else's unwillingness to be really aggressive with 4 high 20 and having that kind of a stack right now.
Which is the smart thing to do, wouldn't you say, Ryan?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if no one's really playing back at you, like I think that's one of the things that we'll end up seeing here a lot is someone's going to end up deciding to be the table captain and start running over the table, and will likely end up picking up a lot of chips as long as they don't overdo it. And I think we won't really see people playing back at them a lot until maybe it is down to 6, as they were saying earlier, because of the 2 shorter stacks again and the big money jumps.
Well, right now there's a situation between Doritos and the 7 Sorry For You. What happened here? Okay. There was a fall. There was a big raise by. There was the raise by the Doritos, a re-raise by 7 Sorry For You, and a re-raise by the Doritos. And
yeah, 3 raise, 3-bet, 4-bet. And I'd be pretty surprised if Doritos was light there. Like, I'm pretty sure he's always 4-betting there for value, just because 7 Sorry For You is a bit more on the passive side.
Got it. I see. Have we seen a lot of big pots, take a flop, or did much of the big raising conclude before the flop, like we just saw there?
Yeah, there's been a lot of pre-flop wars. Like, we kind of talked about, that's probably kind of what we thought it'd be like, just because, I mean, not everybody's going to be comfortable playing flop this deep for like this amount of money. Having to actually bring on hand ranges. It's easier to just like 4-bet and not have to play a hand out of position, etc.
I see. Okay. And 4 high waits for another day. More folds. And we have a raise, a min raise plus. Just very slightly plus, and Harampara takes it down. And the players are now on break. Gentlemen, I'd like to thank you all for making time for us this evening, or early morning, as is the case with some of you. Rupert, how are you feeling? How are you holding up there?
Yeah, good, thanks.
I'd like to thank you all for making time for us. Feel free to sit back and take a bit of a break as we continue to bear witness to this funeral procession that is the final table of the WCOOP Event 44, the $2,000 no-limit hold'em. And for those of you just joining us, or who have joined us for a while and have not been able to figure out who's on the air with us, never mind me. We have our old friend and budding QuadJacks TV fixture, Ryan LaPlante, also known as Potential. In fact, why don't I put the Twitter handles of everybody in chat for everyone to see? Potential MN. Apparently that elicited laughter.
Yeah, it was supposed to be cheers, Marco. I'm sorry.
Okay. Potential. You know what? I don't know if my chat works. My chat could have completely crapped out because my internet is being funny. But anyway. Welcome also, making their QuadJacks TV debuts.
Debut.
We have Rupert the Butts, yes. We have Rupert Elder. Good morning, Rupert.
Good morning.
And you are at what on the Twitters? Excuse me, Ruperte?
At Rupert E.
Oh, which kind of sounds like Ruperte, doesn't it?
It does a bit, yeah.
Which sounds maybe like like if you move to Mexico to play online poker, like Ryan did, people would call you Ruperte. Ven aquí, Ruperte. Hola. That's me being rather insensitive. But welcome, Rupert. Thanks so much. It's great to finally speak to you. And also, Jono, would you please, for my benefit, Jono, would you state your full name and then take us through your Twitter handle, which from what I understand is quite an adventure of its own.
Yeah, for sure. I always keep it complicated. But my name is John Hilton, and my Twitter name is the same as my Pokerstars name. It's allday12, allday12 _3.
Now, Jono, did you make that when 3G was popular with the cell phones with the kids?
Before that, man, I don't even. It has nothing to do with cell phones or anything like that, for sure. Just a name that I made up a few years ago. Actually, my online name doesn't have the 3G in it. It's just allday12 is my online screen name.
I understand. Very interesting, Marco.
That's a lot of balling, Jono.
Yeah, he balls all day.
For sure, when you You know how hard it is? Like, I had to take a break from bowling to do this, so.
It's pretty sick.
You have to take a break from the bowling to do commentary with us, which of course
this is
could
kind
not
of
be more
ballers.
antithetical to bowling.
This is pretty close to bowling, I'm sure.
This is as close to bowling as I get, okay, Jono? So give me a break, please, okay?
I feel pretty baller right now, so it's pretty.
My screenman is toil all day to put on Starship.
You know, Marco.
But
Before,
no, listen.
Marco, before we started this broadcast, I did mention to these guys that we would be taking breaks at the top of the hour. So I'd just like to, put it out there that Marco's the hard ass of the two of us.
Yeah, no water breaks, none of that. Just push through it.
Marco, he likes the old days of MTT grinding where you just, you had no break sinks. It just was straight up play all day.
Well, it's funny, actually, now that you bring it up, you gentlemen are familiar with a fellow by the name of Mario Silvestri.
Oh, yes, of course.
Doesn't he go by, like, Ponosaurus on Twitter? He's a poker player? Nothing? No?
Yeah. Pretty sick, pretty sick.
There you go. Do you mean it, Jono, or are you leveling me?
No, I know who he is for sure.
Oh, it sounded a bit like a mockery.
It did, right?
No, doesn't it? He crushes,
Oh,
right?
yeah, Marco, yeah, pretty sick, yeah.
No, doesn't Ponosaurus crush? I'm pretty sure.
Well, anyway, let's just get to the point. He said he was playing on Bodog, I think, and he complained about the fact that Bodog, well, it's now known as Bovada, at least in the United States, but they don't have the standardized, the industry standard
right
breaks at 55 past, and apparently that's a bad thing. But
well, you know why they do that, Marco?
Why Bovada does that? I mean, I guess there's some recreational player model rationale behind it.
They just don't want the grinders there. So
I see.
There's quite a few European-facing sites that don't have synchronized breaks as well.
Yeah, I mean,
Titan doesn't have one, I don't believe.
I can't understand it at this point. I remember when I forget who did it first. Was it Full Tilt or was it Stars? But there was a question if they were going to sync them together. I think that working as an industry standard of a 55-minute break is the best way to do things personally. But
yeah, that was a great day when they came out with that. I was so happy.
Definitely. I'm not
I
sure.
think it's a.
Go ahead.
I think it's a decent niche for some of the smaller sites to not have it, just in case, because a lot of the recreational players just play one table at a time, so they don't really care when the break is.
Sure. I understand. I just think that the smaller sites. I think if you were to talk to any one of their CEOs or something, they'd want to get bigger, and I think that not having the break synced is definitely counterproductive. So.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody.
Yeah, but in some of their minds, like let's see, Bodog or Bovada, like they're convinced that they get bigger by not
Marco,
attracting the pros or the big grinders.
My opinion, Marco, on that is that they just don't give a shit about poker because their sportsbook makes bank.
Well, listen, their sportsbook might make bank, but the guy behind their poker activity, Jonas Odman, he's an intelligent guy. We've had him on the show, and he really seems to believe in the interviews he's given and the way he phrases these things. He really, and especially in a most recent one where he admitted at one point, I thought that for a while I was wrong, but apparently it's now looking up for Bodog with the recreational player model.
Oh yeah, well,
standards.
And Marco, and that has a lot to do, and we're kind of like really tangent here. From the,
this is the gaming world.
But it's one of those things where the recreational player of poker is the sports bettor who just wants to sit down and play a few hands. So it's like the closest thing to a brick and mortar casino online as there is. You know what I'm saying? Where it's poker, I believe, is probably a very small percentage of how much money Bovada/Bodog makes a month. So, anyways, just to point out, I think that we've lost Ryan for a minute here. I'm not sure if anybody else is experiencing the same thing, so hopefully he gets back. Apparently he is sitting. Apparently he is sitting out. But anyways, the action's back. Hopefully Ryan can get back to us soon, Marco, and here we go.
Well,
And hey, did you read
he
what was
did
in our
say-
chat? I'm not sure if we're supposed to bring that up, Marco, but did you read in
no,
chat?
because my chat stopped working, and so I'm
No,
trying
no,
to reboot
our
it. What
private
was in chat?
conversation here.
Oh, yeah, okay, I see that. Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, listen, David Vamplu, he's English, right?
Yeah, it was actually Stealth Monk that said that. I just pasted that from another Skype conversation.
Oh, yes.
So what it was Stealth Monk said on Twitter, he's quite a well-known 2+2 and sometimes a bit controversial. He said that, can we say that? Can we say it? Or?
Yeah, it's from Twitter, sure.
Yeah,
Twitter
he basically suggested that Asian is Andy Frankenberger, who's a well-known, very successful live player.
I think he actually soul-crushed Philip Ivey
Wow.
this summer.
Yeah. The 10K.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Would you find that easy or hard or neither to believe that such a noted live pro could be posing as, such a racially motivated online poker player? Well, this is a little weird.
Lots of people do it, especially when you look them up and they have like very little games. Because it takes a pretty big tournament to draw them out of America, I'm sure. And yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if like many live pros do it, especially the good cash game players.
How would you find that out though? Like, so is it confirmed? It seems like Stealth Monk is asking. So is it confirmed?
I would say it's quite unlikely, given that his location is the Netherlands. I'm not sure where Andy's from, but I'm pretty sure he's not really got many Dutch ties. I'm not 100% on that, but
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Last I spoke to Andy, he had an apartment. I believe, Marco, you might be able to back me up, in Manhattan. But that was New Amsterdam back in the day, so maybe I'm completely off.
Now here's what I'm thinking. Suppose it isn't. Suppose that Andy Frankenberger isn't Asian. How weird would it look if I sent him a text message where I just asked, "Are you Asian?"
Yeah, do it. Just text him and do it. I was already going to say we should reach out.
Yeah. Okay.
Get it confirmed right now.
Here we go. Let me just get right back into the other chat, where I'm sure that people are making a succession of astute observations, which I haven't been able to submit to our distinguished panelists.
it'd be funny if he just texts you back saying, "No, I'm white."
Yeah.
No, it'd be even funnier if he said, "No, I'm seven. Sorry for you."
Yeah.
That would be better. No, just 4 seats to the right. Sorry about that.
Yeah, that would be pretty awesome. You won't believe this hero call I made earlier today against this Brit, Marco.
Yeah, exactly. So it looks like Potential might be back. I know that, like I said, I think he had some technical difficulties. Our chat, thank you, chat, for letting him know that he was sitting out. However, I believe he was completely offline. So.
Yeah, I'm back in right now.
Oh, good.
My computer actually crashed on me, so...
Yeah, Ryan, just a little FYI. If you're a poker player and you like to play the online pokers, usually having a pretty solid setup is, a good thing. Okay.
For some reason, I don't think I realized that until today. I'll make sure I get a solid setup next time.
It's funny. Okay, we got an
We have
all-in
an
in the call.
all-in in the call on the table. Ace-2 versus 10.
Oh,
Oh, and he binks the do.
he binks the deuce, and 4 high 20 doubles up to the dismay of everyone on the planet.
Yes.
The standard hand from both of them.
Vigils will be held to observe, Middle Eastern
And
pro.
the table definitely it's going to be a little bit longer until we lose our next player. Everybody else is probably going to knit up just as much, I'm sure. Except for the super shorts, like I guess, Sugar?
Well, Sugar and PIU seem to be around the same, no? 100,000 difference, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
There's actually 3 stacks that are a lot alike. Go ahead, Ryan.
I was just going to ask if you guys mentioned earlier that Asian apparently
Yes.
might be Andrew Frankenberg.
Yeah, we
had him on and everything. While
Marco
you were
texted
off
him,
air.
and Marco said to him, "Hey, are you Azon?" And he actually said, "No, I'm 7 sorry for you."
Oh wow, that's a good one, Dick.
No, have you texted him though yet, Marco? I'd like to. I'd
Yeah,
like
I
to know.
texted him.
Cool. It won't work worth a shit if he's over in Amsterdam, by the way, but we could try.
It's quite alright.
And I was moaning because I just took 12th in the 11 rebuy. Sadly, no.
I'm sorry. Oh no, wait a minute. Congrats,
Yeah.
condolences, Ryan.
I was just gonna say, are you
Insane.
sure your computer crapped out, Ryan, or did it get tossed across the room?
By someone else, maybe. Wouldn't that be the weirdest thing? If you're tilting so hard that someone else grabs your computer and just chucks it out the window onto a beautiful Mexican beach, by the way. And of course, by the time you get to it, the water is so inviting.
Hey, I just
I
actually
think that's the reason why.
just to bring this up, Marco, just why we got a second. We got from John Hutchins in chat. He says, "Hey, can they show the table chat when they chop?" Well, he's guessing they're going to chop. I'm not sure, John, if you have some inside information that we don't have, please pass it forward. But if they do chop, Marco, I think that's a good idea. Maybe we will pop the chat out and take a look-see at what they talk about during that portion of the coverage.
Absolutely. Speaking of which, how about that 7-hour Howard Lederer interview that we've all got to look forward to, huh?
Yeah, that should be really interesting. I'm curious as to what or how he tries to defend himself.
Oh, don't be so jaded, Ryan.
Jaded?
Well, listen.
I'm pretty sure that's what everyone else is thinking too.
Yeah, I mean, Marco, come on. You can't be jaded. Or actually, Ryan, what am I saying? Marco, Ryan, he gave money to charity, okay? He was going to make a comment when he could. It was, on the weekend. He had 7 hours available. It wasn't too far, away from the time when Black Friday happened. It was all done in good measure, Marco. How can you be jaded?
Was that sarcasm?
I think that Howard's done a great job trying to get the money back to the U.S. players.
Well, supposedly that's what's supposed to be the theme of this interview.
That's what I love, though. I read
it.
the little piece, and it said, that they said to him, "Hey, we're not going to do this interview if it's just going to be softballs," But really, what the fuck is Howard going to do? Come to the table and just cry, that he was wrong? I mean, I don't know.
It'll be interesting, though.
I'm very excited.
I have a good mind to live tweet it. That'd be fun. All right. What was I was gonna make another? Oh yeah. So can we review the new short stacks? I'm making it sound pretty fashionable, actually. The new short stack collection here in WCOOP-44. Actually, for a while I thought that WCOOP stood for Winter Championship of Online Poker. I cannot be the only one who thought this, after SCOOP stands for Spring Championship, right?
I did not think that.
Well, I didn't say you must have thought that. I'm just saying I cannot be... I didn't mean the only one on this panel. Although if someone else on this panel did suspect that at any point, please don't make me feel so alone. But,
Yeah, as Ryan in chat just said, I don't think anyone ever thought that.
Well, he says there's like 0%, like he actually carried out a poll. And unless he can, show sources, I don't buy it. But anyway, it's a plausible segment. We have an all-in by Scherger, by the way, and that's what I was going to get at. And here, Rupert's nemesis may actually exercise some discretion and throw away a hand. Oh, there we go.
So he's not my nemesis. I want him to win.
You want him to win?
Yeah.
What is it about that, by the way? Like this idea that I want the person who busted me to win, so that there's some sort of
Doritos actually busted me.
Oh really?
Oh, we have an all-in and a call.
He
And likely a chop. Yep. Choppy chop.
Yeah.
Okay, so Doritos busted Jono.
Yeah.
7 Sorry for You, which is such a strange name, by the way. Busted Rupert.
Yes.
And Brian, you weren't busted by anyone at this table?
As far as I remember, no.
All right. So let's get a short stack update. I mean, 4 high 20, no longer sitting at the kids' table, it seems. But we do have an all-in by 7. Sorry for you, and that's quite an all-in. That's
22 bigs.
Yeah, that's 22 bigs. I mean, is that a move you'd be making at this point in that position, Ryan?
Pretty much any hand that I'm willing to get it in there. I'm generally just going to 3-bet and make a decision. You know, with hands like 10s or ace queen, you know, if I 3-bet and like someone cold 4s and then there's like an all-in behind and then PU or, you know, whatever. If there's like a lot of action behind, it's going to be pretty easy for me to go, oh hey, this hand's really bad, I should just fold. But if, you know, if like just Pew Malaria shipped it in on me, you know, I can just pretty comfortably like call it off, and like either way I was going to get it in versus him, so it doesn't really matter.
Ryan,
like,
what's your your like mucking range? Like, what is the top of your range for just mucking to his open if you're to his early position? Like, are you just folding like 7s?
I think hands like 7s, like we could even decide to turn those kinds of hands into bluffs. Like I'd prefer to like turn a hand like ace 9 or whatever into a bluff there just because of blockers, but I think any hand that is like near the bottom of our raise get it in range are hands that we can just turn into bluffs there and 3-bet fold. I mean, it's a really great spot to 3-bet fold. Pretty much no one ever believes that you're light there. It looks unbelievably nutted. It's not like someone's going to cold 4-bet bluff or anything really. I mean, your only kind of worry is that Pew Malaria might think that you're light or something like that. So
yeah.
Any hands that are near the bottom of it in.
I don't expect Pew. I didn't think he was going to be folding. Like, I'm pretty sure he's going to be open, getting it in like most of his range. I didn't think he was just going to fold. I mean, not that you can't raise fold toward blinds or position. It just seems like he's been more like solid and not being involved in every hand. It seems like.
Well, especially with the tighter image, that's, you know, a really good spot to raise fold. I mean, people are just going to respect you a lot. So I wouldn't do it with air or anything. Just do it with hands that you have equity, like 8-9 suited or whatever, and just hope it gets through.
I don't think that necessarily means he's taking the good spot, though. I mean, it is still like a huge final table, so he might just be playing tight because of that.
It's an interesting hand here. We had a min raise by Doritos, and a 3-bet by Herampera with a call by Doritos, and they saw a flop, and Herampera bet out about a third of the pot, maybe not, maybe half the pot at that point, and got a call by Doritos, and now he checks, and Doritos checks back, and 10 hits river, which completes nothing, although there is a straight possibility, but low cards like that, I don't see these guys take such low cards. There we go. Oh, I stand corrected. A pair of 4s secures the pot for Doritos, who now takes the chip lead away from Herampera. Doritos had probably been hoping for a straight once the flop hit, and he lucked into a pair of 4s.
I find it pretty interesting that Doritos didn't raise flop with the amount of equity that he has. I mean, he doesn't, like, he has a hand that doesn't really have any showdown equity. Like, with, like, ace queen of diamonds, I might just flat, just because there's so many cards that that also help us, but, like, we can also have the best hand there. And it's like, I mean, if he gets it in versus, like, kings, like, he has so much equity anyways, and chances are you can get kings to make, you know, a pretty big laydown. I mean, his flatting range can have a lot of 2s, 3s, and 7s in it, and there are going to be a lot of scare turn cards for hands like 9s, 10s, jacks, queens, so I prefer to just, you know, raise this flop and get it in, even though we're at this big of a final table. You know, the up, down, straight, and flush draw, it seems to me to be a pretty standard raise and rip it.
Alright, response from Andy Frankenberger comes. One word. Huh? when I asked, "Are you Asian?" Should I just ask him, "How about 7 sorry for you," and see what he says? No, this is trolling. I'm trolling Andy so hard here. I don't want to. I'll just tell him, don't worry about it. You know, just keep an eye out for Doritos. He's got some tricks up his sleeve, buddy. Wink. What's going on here? I mean, Pew Limeira, which earlier, Ryan, you kind of made it sound like pure malaria, which is sick. Okay, but it is kind of an awesome name. Pew Limeira.
Butchering names on here.
Yeah. He's what is he doing here? He shoved about 15 into what appears now. I mean, the only people left to make a choice are two short stacks. One of whom, who is this? Who's in the tank right now? This is Sugar, who's actually got less chips than Pew Limeira. I mean, what is this? Is this a legitimate tank, or is the guy just well?
Yeah, that was definitely a legitimate tank. And he probably had a hand like 5s or 6s, or like ace 8 suited. Yeah,
ace 8, something like that.
Okay, I see. What did you make? What did you guys make of Harem Para 3-betting Doritos in the small blind with ace 8 off? I mean, is that a play you would recommend by someone like him with this kind of final table, or who feels like making either a case for it or against it?
I think it's a great spot to do it, just because it should be a spot that Doritos is opening light a lot, and it also should be a spot that, like as we saw, he had 4-5 suited, and it also should be a spot where like Doritos should be giving Haram's 3-bet a lot of respect. So I would expect Doritos to fold like pretty much all hands that don't have a lot of flop equity. So a low suited connector is probably going to play really well versus Haram's 3-bet range, just because Haram's going to have like ace king, ace queen, ace jack, big pocket pairs. So if he hits a low flop really hard, he can win a pretty big pot.
Okay. All right. Well,
I think he should have 3-bet to a bigger size though, because I think Doritos was getting a pretty decent price on Haram's stack there, if he thought that he was 3-betting value hand.
Well, Tonizins in our chat suggests this, but then with that thinking, Doritos shouldn't have called a 3-bet with 3-4 suited. It was actually 4-5, I believe, suited. Considering that even with that great of a flop, he can't really play the hand right due to stack sizes. What do you think of that?
Well, I think they're deep enough for him to make the call. Like, I think that's why he ended up making it, is because they're so deep.
Good game, 4 high 20.
Yeah, pretty standard situation there with the raise and a shove and a snap off by ace queen, and 4 high 20 finishing in 9th for $28,850.
That was just when I went to rub my eyes and missed the whole thing. See, that was something I wish I could have witnessed. What happened, guys? Please help me.
Pretty standard raise from the cutoff, and 4 high 20 in the button with ace jack, and how much was it? Around 20 big blinds? Yeah, it was around 21, 22 big blinds. Shoves all in with ace jack, and Dorito snaps off with ace queen, and that's all she wrote.
I see. All right. Well, see, now this should be we've reached an important milestone, haven't we? In this,
that was a pretty decent. That's the first really big page that we've seen.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So
26 big blinds is bigger than what I thought.
Well, according to our projections, things should be picking up now. And we have wow.
And see, already we have all ins.
Wow. That was well. How much did Pulimare? I know he was a short stack.
Yeah. It was pretty standard hand. I mean, they're going to show up with worse there, actually, a lot of times.
Yeah, a lot worse.
Okay. You would not chastise either party, and
Nope, that was just another cooler standard. Get it in,
Sure,
see what happens.
you love getting it in either spot. Like, I mean, obviously with kings, but like ace queen is super premium in that spot.
And you said earlier that we should probably see the play pickup. Maybe with Pew Lemuria picking up, that nice little double up, it might pick up a bit. But, because we had 3 short stacks and now we have 2. But I think the 2 short stacks is really going to lock up play.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's not often you're just going to see, like, walks at WCOOP-2K final tables, but you see them, I guess.
Well, Sugar is in an unenviable position here. What do we know from Sugar? What is our impression of Sugar?
I don't even know any pots that he's played. I can't remember any of them.
Well, he's been kind of short for a while now.
For sure.
Will this beat? No, it won't. We have a min raise by Asian, who, eschews the shoving opportunity to make a min here. I mean, what do we make of that?
This is going to be another, he's going to be polarized here. He's either has a very easy raise fold or a very easy raise get it in, like we saw with Pew earlier. Now raise getting it in with kings. We generally see him shoving hands like ace-9 suited, ace-10, ace-jack, king-queen, 9-10 suited, hands like that. So he either has absolute garbage, or he's just nutted.
We have a raise from the small blind into 7 sorry for you, who does not allow his curiosity to get the best of him any longer. Let's go with the big blind. On the kid, on the other hand, seems like he's chilled a bit since I last remarked that he was a little jittery. Do you think maybe that ace queen versus king's hand has sobered him up a bit, or did it happen even earlier?
Yeah, perhaps. It probably might have put him more in line. I mean, it's probably not. I mean, he just folded a few hands. I mean, there's been a lot of short stacks raising, and there's not much you can do. You don't have a ton of fold equity against most of the stacks that are opening. But like him and Doritos are in a really good spot right now. So if I was Doritos, I'd be opening basically every hand that folded to me. Even though having a P Lemera on your left wouldn't be the best because his stack sizing he'd be 3-betting you a decent amount of time, but you still got to make him do that sometimes until he starts doing it.
Well, I mean, look at what just happened there. I think Polymera raised min raised on the button. Now, if you're Harem Para, how do you think? And this is a serious question. How do you think that a raise, like we saw him, it was a big raise, a sizable raise, will not provoke a shove all in, which is exactly what we saw from Polymera, which then put Harem Para in a position to fold? I mean, what was Harem Para thinking there? Do you think?
He probably assumed that Pew would be raise folding a lot, which is generally going to be correct. I mean, it's a spot where they both know that they have a good 4-bet shove stack so it just ends up coming down to is which level is each person on and how often should Harem be 3-bet folding, 3-bet calling. Yeah, he was essentially just pretty standard, got caught re-stealing and folded. I'm somewhat surprised at his 3-bet sizing though. I thought it was way too small, making it 225. I mean, when you make it that small and the other guy's 30 big blinds effective, he is deep enough to peel. So if Pew Malaria has hands 8-9 suited or whatever, he can just call. I mean, they're definitely deep enough considering how small the 3-bet was.
And here we go, Queen Jack versus 7s, and Doritos hits his queen, and it looks like Sugar's going to go out. All right. Here we go.
And that should really help pick up play.
Yeah.
Sugar taking 8th for $52,700.
Decent. And talking about Harem's 3-bet sizing, we saw him do that against Doritos when Doritos had the 4-5 suited. when he's making it so small like that, he's just like inviting people onto the hands. He's not really the control he thinks he's taking pre-flop by doing the 3-bet. He's not actually taking because he's making it so small. They're able to. I mean, I don't know. Lemire might even could be able to squeeze in a small 4-bet there. Like you have to kind of put him at more of a decision, not just give him so many options. Like that's the whole point of the 3-bet. But his sizing is making it awkward, like less awkward for people.
Well, what are we left with now? Well, we have a sizable raise here by Doritos in response to On the Kids' initial raise. I think, yes, okay.
Aside from being out of position, Doritos' 3-bet here is probably, I mean, ICM-wise, it's pretty good, obviously, because all the other stacks are, looking for a few more spots to. I mean, everybody's a little bit deeper than they were before, but for Doritos to be putting more pressure on all in, with the stack sizes being what they are, it's like a good spot for him to be live, except for the fact that he's out of position.
Yeah, I'd say
Ace Queen versus Ace Jack, and only a king I think can save, and it doesn't. So, Elder, you get your vengeance here. We see 7 Sorry for You not make it any farther than 7th place. So now we're down to 6. I'm sorry, Jono, if I cut you off.
No, you're good. I think Rupert was actually saying.
Yeah, I think All in the Kid and Haram are a bit handcuffed by Doritos having them covered and them also having a lot of chips now. So they kind of have to wait for Torkoal and, well, now 7 Sorry for You has just bust. So, but I think they're going to wait for Torkoal a bit to just go out.
For sure.
And Pulimera is back into this game, isn't he? He was struggling there for a bit, but God, he came out on top in a couple of flips now, didn't he? Not even flips in some cases, just double ups. Just
yeah, he got pretty lucky to pick up some monsters at the appropriate times, and was also fortunate enough to have them hold as well.
Okay. And here he picks up more chips. Seemed to get a little timid there on the river. Did I see him check back an ace, a pair of aces, or?
Yeah, well, I mean, at that point, the only ace he's going to be getting value from is like ace 8 or lower, which he could. I mean, I don't know. I didn't even see how the hand played out, but I'm pretty sure.
3-bet calling pre-flop.
Yeah, for sure. Like I was surprised that they didn't get it all in there. I mean, and then to only get 1 street of value post flop is just, I don't know. I'd much rather 3-bet getting it in than anything.
Yeah, I'd probably 3-bet get it in this short of handed as well. I mean, Ace Queen is a very, very strong hand, and picking it up 6-handed, like, even though it is risk not really gun raise. Yeah, like, even though yeah, Asian's been opening a ton, and he should be aware of that, and, it's a button 3-bet as well. And Asian's just going to, like, play back at you so hard, so often. It's like a pretty good spot for Asian to 4-bet, 4-bet shove, 4-bet small, and fold. Like, I would just, like, always 3-bet there.
Now, does anybody have a read on Torkoal? I mean, is it just me, or is he nowhere to be heard from?
Yeah, he seems to be just hoping to move up the ladder.
Has he played this timidly the entire tournament since we've been watching?
I haven't seen him really get into any pots.
Okay.
Yeah, this has been pretty quiet since I've been watching him.
Yeah, he's mostly just sat there and won 80k, so...
Alright. And here we go. Now, Pulimera always takes advantage, it seems, or typically takes advantage of these small blind spots. Small versus big spots. And it seems like his opponents have typically let him. If my memory serves me correctly. But Torkoal is just a folding station.
Yeah, and you were talking about Lemaire's comeback. Just even those hands, like when you're at like big tables like this and the blinds and the pots are so big, like even the hands where he got 3-bet and then 4-bet jammed over it at like whatever it was, like 30 big blinds, like you may not realize that sometimes like those hands like they add so much more to your stack. So for when you do get in those big flip situations and you do win, it's just like multiplied, even more so.
Okay.
What do you guys think of the play overall at this final table? I mean, I think like by far the person who's been playing the best has been Doritos.
8s versus 9s. And Asian awesome. Spikes his 9. And he's going to be doubling up here. He didn't have to spike a 9, but it didn't hurt. Sorry, Ryan.
I thought All in the Kid had been playing pretty decently. Like when there were 10 left, he like picked a decent spot to cold 4, and I don't know, I thought he's been doing okay.
Yeah.
Got a bit unlucky with the ace queen against kings.
I think it was kind of like we project a little bit. I mean, definitely with the 3s and 4-bets, but there's been it's been pretty standard for like pretty straightforward, at least for a 2K WCOOP final table. But I think it's still been pretty standard. It's not like anybody's done anything bad, except for maybe like not getting it in with ace queen versus 2s. Like I mean, it's not really bad.
3-bet sizings have been kind of all over the place, and
yeah, that's true. That's true.
And then Torque has just been folding his way up. Asian has been pretty tag overall, and Pew has kind of just been gifted with, you know, big hands at the right spot.
Asian got his double up. I'd expect him to like be 3-betting like more often than the others, because when he had like 20 big blinds, he was doing a lot of like 3-betting when he had really small stacks, which I mean shows that, you know, he obviously is going to be 3-betting when he has bigger stacks. It was just kind of handcuffed for being short stack for a while.
Six left in WCOOP-44. Event number 44. Wow, 44 we've had so far. And today is the 17th, so the main event is, I think, just about a week away, maybe a little less.
Yeah, I'm really excited for it. Should be a lot of fun.
Now, why? Why is it going to be a lot of fun? I mean, well, I know that it's online poker and it's awesome and you guys are great, but anything specific about the main event that we should look forward to?
Well, an absolutely amazing structure. Like, I would say that the only tournament that has... this might even have a better... It honestly might have a better structure than the WSOP main event. The structure on this looks incredible. You know, 30-minute online levels, like an hour and a half live, hour and a half live. And you start with 400 big blinds, and it goes up slowly the entire way through. It doesn't skip a level. Antes start pretty early. It's going to end up getting something like, you know, it'll probably end up getting 2,000 runners, or pretty close to it. And, you know, field that size is always going to be pretty soft overall. There just aren't that many truly good, you know, poker players. So a field that size is going to have a lot of really soft spots, and the structure is going to involve a really difficult final, you know, 27, 36 players. So if you do get fortunate enough to get deep in it, you know, you're going to have to really fight for it, and winning that tournament is going to definitely be a great accomplishment. And with 7 figures to go with it, you know, how can't it be really fun, and how can't you be really excited for it?
Well, it's $1 million guaranteed for first, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nice. Wow. You make it sound so nice, Ryan. I almost want to move to another country and deposit 5K on stars and just play the main event. You know, I'll be...
And just boom it?
Yeah, I'll be like one of these weekend warriors who play the main, you know. Once a year they show up, play one event a year. It's the main event because everyone wants their shot. No, that'll be exciting. It's on the 23rd, isn't it? 2 days? It's the 23rd and 24th. Here we go, Harampera. See, look at such a large all-in, it seems like. And Harampera's got a big stack. Did Asian? How much money did Asian put in there that made the Haram want to give it all away or sacrifice or risk it all?
It is a pretty big all-in, but when you consider the type of hand that he has there, like if you have Ace Jack suited there, do you really want to 4-bet and deuce and call a shove? No, you just want to like try to end the hand right there. You just rip it in and see what happens. Well, maybe not quite as strong as Ace Jack, but even hands like Ace 10, like there are a lot of hands that you can have there that you really do not want to have to 4-bet and decide with. And with those kinds of hands, you essentially either call and play post-flop poker, which we would expect to see in a 1K or in a tougher field. But at this kind of field, and as we can see, Haram isn't quite as skilled of a player. He's just going to do the easiest thing, which is shove all in.
Fulimera seems to be putting in a great deal of a stack from earlier, and seems to be in play in this pot. If he doesn't walk away the victor from this, well, whoever doesn't walk away the victor from this is...
Yeah, this is a pretty important pot for both of them.
And Asian will be taking the hit. That's two
Didn't
consecutive...
see how that played out. 1 second.
There's two consecutive pots that Asian, I think, has had to give up on, and it's definitely taken a toll on his stack. I mean, he might as well be considered the short stack if we consider Torkalort to be a non-entity at this final table.
You might just be running bad with cards. I mean,
do you think so though? I mean, it's pretty uncanny. It's pretty strange and striking how little we've seen of him. I can't even visualize two cards being in front of him for any period of time.
we've probably barely played like 80 hands or something at this final table, so there's a decent chance that, I mean, it's more likely that he is just playing really tight, but
listen, Rupert, or Ruperti, as some of your friends might call you. I don't know. I think those who have seen me play will tell you that I am given to tightness, and even I think I would be more active, more flexible than this Torquemada, and yes, and even in the spot. I mean, it's rather strange. I'll be curious to see what the next move he makes will be, because he does have, well, I guess he's got just underneath 20. Here we go. Asian makes a move here. Ram, who raised the button rather conservatively, lets it go.
He might go all in this very hand. Everyone else is obviously aware of how tight he's been playing, so he'll probably get opened on. Or not.
Yeah.
Hey, Marco.
Yes, Zach.
I just have a question. I've been listening to you guys while I've been eating here. Are you guys talking about Ajan? Or
Ajan,
or
yes.
Torque or Lord? Because I mean, if it's
Torque
Ajan,
Lord, who, by the way, oh my god,
Torkalort.
this is the first flop he's been involved in since I can remember. Here we go. Oh my god, he bets out and Asian calls. He mid bets.
And he's only in it because he checked the big blind.
Oh wow.
Like, he did raise the button though when we were talking about him. He did raise the button.
Oh wait a minute. Oh yeah, Asian's first act. My mistake. I didn't see the button properly, so he called, I guess, or maybe no. He did bet. Okay. Here we go. Another bet.
let me see.
Wow.
Now, Marco, so what I wanted to ask the panelists, and maybe you can even chime in, is let's just say, and I'm not sure if we've confirmed or denied yet, that is a live poker player, Andy Frankenberger, sitting in Ajan's spot.
It's not.
Okay. Let's just say it was. Your guys' opinions on, let's just say a live player did make it this deep in an online poker tournament. Would you suspect that we would see tighter play and folding down to, way less blinds than is standard for you guys that, primarily play on the internet? What do you guys think about that?
Well, when you...
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
You can.
Yeah, I was just going to say that the structures live are generally a lot slower, so live professionals tend to be more patient, I would say. So yeah, it's a good chance that this sort of structure suits the live pro more because it is slower and they can just wait for hands a bit more. The structure is starting to creep up like a bit more now. The stacks get shorter, but yeah, I would expect live players to be a bit tighter and generally probably not as aggressive with reshoving and stuff like that and open shoving.
What do you think, Ryan?
Yeah,
I agree with that
for
100%.
the most part as well. Like especially a lot of the live players who don't have much experience online or don't have much experience with discussing, with the younger generation of players, you aren't really going to see them be quite as active with 25 to 35 big blinds. To a lot of online kids, anything over 15 bigs, like you've got a lot of play. Like it's getting pretty common these days to see people like 3-bet fold with 15 big blinds, and a lot of live players go 15 big blinds. Like that's just like an open shove hand. That's a 3-bet shove hand. Like their sizes end up being overall a lot bigger. They end up just playing a lot, much more shallow or effective, even though they're so much deeper, just because of how much bigger their sizes and stuff in general are. And you also end up seeing, for the most part as well, that live tournaments from different areas have different feel of like the professionals who play them and the overall level of play. Like certain areas are going to be hyper aggressive, like say maybe France or Italy, or they might be very passive, like say in the United States.
Yeah, you guys are bringing up a lot of good points. I mean, so you are guys that mainly play online, and so when you play live, what's it like to make that adjustment for you? And what do you think it's like for a live player to make the adjustment to playing a major final table like this online? Which is harder?
Well, adjusting to live, you have to most of the time you have to tighten up your calling ranges like completely compared to what you would do online. Because like we were talking about, like the 3-bet all-ins from live players tend to be a lot stronger than the 3-bet all-ins from your typical online player. And like I noticed that like the live players, like they even like flat pre-flop shallower than most of the online players, like just in different situations, especially like defending the big blind. Like they'll call a lot shallower than most online players will.
Yeah, I definitely agree with all those as well. And I would say adjusting from live to online is a lot harder. Just because of like live play in general tends to be much the quality of play tends to be much lower. So it's just much easier to go to being used to a very, very high level of play and then adjusting your game down and adjusting to a tighter, simpler game. A lot of top online players have difficulty with it because they get impatient. Like they still overvalue hands for certain types of players. Like live, when a random 4-bets me and I have ace king, I like snap muck it. Like I don't even think about it. Right. But online, someone 4-bets and I have ace king, like I'm like fist pump 5-bet inducing.
Well, here we got an all in.
Yeah, but Torcolord is not involved. I'm not interested. Look, I've seen this flakiness from Harem Para, okay? This guy talks a very big game, and when it comes time to butt heads, look, he's gonna fall. There you go, okay? I'm so disappointed in Harem Para. Alright? He can't commit. He can't commit. But I mean it though. Haven't you noticed that from Harem Para? Doesn't he seem to? How many all-ins have you seen Harem Para actually involved in? Well, all-ins, all-ins in the sense like races.
Yeah, and he's still chipping up too. Like he's getting away with like I'm surprised. Like they're like he's just like I haven't really seen him fluctuate chips like too much in the negative. Like even though he's like 4-bet folding a lot, like he's still like somehow chipping up. I haven't been paying attention to how many times the 4-bets have been working.
Yeah. I just have this funny image of Ryan just celebrating when he's got Ace King to a 4-bet online. What did you say? Your fist pumping?
Fist pumping and 5-bet inducing.
5-bet inducing.
I would, like, click
doing
it back
cartwheels.
Yeah, sounds about
inviting
right.
people over for a party.
You know, live, you high five the table, you kiss the dealer.
Sharing the hand on Boom Player.
Yeah, exactly. I share a couple hands.
Skyping me about it, obviously. You know.
I've never done that. What?
Call up old friends, people you haven't spoken to in years. Try to talk it out. Oh my God, what did Torklord just make a raise before the flop? Did you see that? And he folded too. And what is Piuli Mera thinking there? I mean,
I wonder what hands he'd be happy to get in there. Piuli Mera, given how tight Torklord's been.
Who's that woman on Piuli Mera's?
Probably Ace Queen plus.
Ace Queen plus.
Do you think it would be a big mistake to try 3-bet bluffing there?
Yeah. Oh, I think that'd be a horrible mistake. Tork's been so damn tight. Like, I'm shocked that he folded. Like, I would expect his entire opening range to just 4-bet rip it in. Or near.
Maybe he's just scared money. Maybe he just really doesn't want to bust.
He mucks the Ace Queen right there.
How does he get to this final table?
Exactly. I'm curious now.
See, that's what I was speaking about earlier. When like, just because the players make it to the final table, like most of these the tighter players aren't exactly winning tournaments anymore. Like before, you might see a WCOOP get luck boxed by some completely random, but now it's like they might final table, but nobody's just being able to keep up with the caliber of play, like 6-handed and 5-handed.
Yeah, I agree. I think if a fish were to win a tournament, then they'd generally be like an aggressive fish, where they're just playing too many pots rather than playing.
For sure.
Yeah, I feel like Torklord's kind of just not really. He's kind of got a bit run over at this final. He hasn't really done anything.
Yeah, this final table is like one of those suspense thrillers where everyone wakes up in a room and they have no idea who they are or how they got there.
Before Doritos kills them all, or
before Doritos comes in and exacts his vengeance.
Yeah, I would think overall right now that Haram has probably been playing better than most of the other people as far as, like, he's been running over the table. I do dislike his bet sizings in general, but I do enjoy the fact that he's actually been 3-betting a lot, 3-bet folding a lot, 4-betting a lot.
And his initiative has been
he seems to be picking his spots fairly well overall, even though he's been having to 3-bet fold.
I think I'm looking at chat now after having had to take another break from it, and I think somebody is pointing out that Torque actually has some results, or maybe it's another Torque we're thinking of. Here, if you guys can update me a little bit on what you know. Look at his pocket fives, Marco. Okay, but is that him? Yeah, I can just load that up. There's always like a wild card at one of these final tables. You know, the other day it was Oyercon. Those of you who are watching.
Yeah, apparently has some pretty big scores. 30K, Final Table Sunday, 109R, but his most recent score that was decent was I guess, April of this year, 28,000, and early his largest score, December of 2011, 32K.
Oh, wow. Oh yeah, Torcolord is a little bit of a beast, it seems. What does that say? 1 million on Pokerstars?
I mean, he really could just be spot dead, I guess. I mean, I've been at final tables like that.
Yeah, where you have to play so knitted.
Completely
Yeah,
spot.
110K on Party Poker, shipping that. Decent. That's pretty recent too, September 5th. Oh, never mind. That was like 2 years ago. Yeah, and he shipped a 1K in 08 for 70K. So it seems to be his scores were a while ago.
I mean, I have a question for the panel. Can you
Either
really,
way, I'd love to be six-handed.
Jono, you know, you said that you've been card dead before like that. So when we get back from break, I mean, maybe we can kind of get into that. Like, what do you do when you are card dead? And, you know, I mean, this is extreme. We finally have an all-in shove here and a call.
Oh,
Give him QuadJacks. QuadJacks. Ah. I called for it, Marco. A little amateur.
What a hit. Why am I trying to get the name with Jacks? Like, what in the world?
You know, he folds down to Jacks. I mean, that to me says that he's not really card dead, that he just shoved across SB to BB with Jacks. He can't be card dead. He's just tight, no?
Yeah, like he just jammed. I mean, yeah, he probably is. I mean, I said he could be, like, in the spots when I'm card dead, like, it's not really card dead, it's more like spot dead. Like,
right.
I guess you just kind of, I mean, you have to practice some sort of patience. You can't just, like, start jamming it in there, but, I mean, you kind of just go with the spots that you know are going to be plus EV over time. I mean, you can't really decide which ones are going to work out, which ones aren't going to work out, obviously.
Makes sense. I think after this hand, Marco, we'll be going to break, so I think we'll relieve our play-by-play, our color play-by-play. So if you guys could just mute your mics, that way you can do your business, and Marco and I can do ours. What do you say, Marco?
You command, sir.
Well, I mean, listen, we could probably...
We'll relieve them as they relieve themselves.
Fair enough, exactly. We're on break. You are watching QuadJacks. It was actually just trip jacks on the last hand. 3-of-a-kind jacks, Marco?
Yeah. It's the direction we're going in.
But no, what I wanted to do this break, Mark, was sort of educate our listeners on our email list. Do you think we have time for that, Marco? And the benefits of signing up to it, because you know, we were talking about this today. I mean, there is something that is exclusive with our email.
Yes, it's essentially me addressing the newsletter subscribers in a, you know, rather informal and direct manner. So if you feel like receiving my weekly addresses in my every Monday at typically about 10 a.m. sharp Pacific, then you should sign up. But you know what? I just recently started doing those, and they're kind of okay. I mean, I think they've been going pretty well so far. I've been trying to keep them short because, you know, I'm given to going on and writing a ton, and this actually discouraging people from reading. But I'd like to see where it goes. I kind of like the idea that only those who subscribe to the newsletter can are treated to personal insight from Marco himself. So yeah. It's not something we're doing to. We're not taking ourselves too seriously. I'm certainly not taking myself too seriously. But we are trying to make the newsletter a little bit unique, a little bit, kind of, containing unique content that you won't find on the site. Obviously, there's a lot of links to all the things we've done. If you've missed something, we'll tell you about it. But yes, because if it were just stuff that's on the site, why would you sign up at all? So
right.
There is, for the time being, a reason why you should sign up to the newsletter and be entitled to new, fresh content that you can't see or find anywhere else on QuadJacks.
Yeah,
so
for all your fans
now
out there,
that
Marco.
now that I've turned them on to it, Zach,
I
why
put
don't
a
you
link.
tell them?
Well, I put a link in chat. There actually is a link, Marco, for this. It just takes you to a page you can sign up. So, sign up, Marco. I don't know. You're not even on our. You're not even on the
Sign
email
up.
list.
I'm on the email list.
I know. I'm joking.
I write the damn thing too, so you know.
65 people and 30 online, so it's like a 50%. So the other, let's get in our chat, everybody. If you have Facebook or Twitter, Marco, sign into our chat. It's just below the stream.
Mm-hmm.
And let's just switch over. I'm going to switch over quickly to the three guys on our panel. At Potential MN from Minnesota, Marco, which we learned the first time he was on, I believe. Next up in the slide, Marco, or the featured image that they're looking at right now, is Jono, a.k.a. Ballin' All Day 12_3 motherfucking G.
Hold on.
I don't think the motherfucking is between 3 and G, but you can see it on the screen. And, Marco, I'm going to let you handle the last one because the pronunciation of his Twitter handle is amazing.
Well, yes, well, his name is Rupert Elder, and we salute him. He's in England. But his Twitter handle is Ruperte. It's Rupert plus his last name's initial, an E. But in what's becoming an increasingly Mexican climate here in online poker, at least in this hemisphere, people are just more inclined to pronounce things with a Hispanic cadence. So
yeah, so
I have a good time saying Ruperte and putting some spunk into it, some of that Mexican.
And very quickly to wrap up, Marco,
caliente.
If we can, very quickly to wrap up, I think you were even very intrigued by today's latest installment of the Fairway J files of NFL betting. For all you poker players out there that do
the Fairway J files. Poker News has the letterer files.
Yeah,
we have the Fairway J
exactly.
files.
But no, I'm going to put that in chat. That was a really good article for sort of relating sports betting to poker. So
yeah,
good little article.
No, it was very, very good. And that's exactly what we're going for. We want someone like Fairway J. Actually, not someone like Fairway J. We want Fairway J to.
Yeah, Fairway J. If you're listening to this, if you've got somebody that's like you, yeah, Marco's had it up to here with you. Just joking, Marco. But no, did you notice in chat over the break, at the end of the break there, Andy Frankenberger asked, "You guys want a deal?" ?
That's not Andy Frankenberger. You had me thinking that he actually did ask that.
Yeah, no. He observer chats. Hey guys, it's Andy.
Yeah.
Anyways, here's the action is back, Marco. This is where we should let our experts.
Well, so you're saying that because a deal has been suggested, it might be Q chat box time?
Exactly. I'm getting into that mode.
All right.
At this moment, we're gonna look. I like this though. This is awesome. And for the panel, when anybody starts talking numbers and they say chat, they're going to chat about it. I like this this play by Para where he's just going to raise here and see if everybody just folds to preserve that equity. Oh no, Torque says screw it.
I don't think a deal's going to be through anyways.
And here we go.
Cooler, super cooler. And the hole.
And Torque, our good friend Torque, just before break, guys, we were going to talk about being tight and waiting for spots, like you were saying, Jono. But here again, we see him turn over a very weak hand, ace-ace. So he's definitely not playing tight.
Yeah,
of course, he has aces.
Yeah. No surprise there, guys?
None whatsoever. I mean, it's still really brutal and unlucky for Haram. And I'd be shocked if a deal went through until Asian busted. And I would have been fairly surprised if a deal had been really discussed with Torque being short as well. You just don't really see the big stacks wanting to really discuss something like that. Maybe once we see Asian bust, we'll see them have a serious look at numbers, but I still don't really think so. Maybe.
I mean, if we look at the stacks right now, minus Asian, I mean, it's pretty flat with Doritos out ahead.
Yeah, if like Asian is busted by like Tort, I would expect the deal to be discussed a lot and maybe go through.
Okay.
But I think if like Doritos busts Asian, or if Doritos, really starts chipping up again, he probably won't want to make a deal.
Got some
Or he'll try to get a great deal, which probably won't go through.
little small blind.
Yeah, I'm
big
gonna
blind.
have to be getting a pretty good deal if I'm Doritos. Like the table is so soft. Like I'm trying not to deal at all costs.
Yeah. Or you just get a great deal and,
Yeah, for sure.
left in the bank.
Now, what's going through your mind here if you're Doritos? You made a raise in the small blind. Puli Meira, plays back at you, and of course you're going to bump it up to 850,000. Which of course leads Puli Meira to shove all in. And
That is
Dorito
such a
says,
big shove.
Was it really?
I mean, yeah, like 40 big blinds. I mean, I really did not think I was just going to see an open whack there. Like, I don't know how much, like 40-something big blinds. Not an open whack, but even though Doritos' sizing was like, it was pretty small compared to, I mean, it was probably standard, but I thought Lemera was going to be light there more times than I actually have it.
Well, I mean, Lemera and Doritos are now practically tied for first place.
Yeah, that was a pretty big hand.
Yeah. That's, you gotta hand it to Puli Meira, though. I mean, very tenacious. Very daring. Taking a lot of chances. Ran pretty well as well, but, I think at one point he or she was dead last in chips, and, short stack, and now, it's, now he or she actually takes the chip lead. Where in the world is Puli Meira? Brazil. Okay. Torkelords too. What happened with Asian? How does Asian suddenly find himself with just barely over 10 bigs?
Bad.
Pad?
Yeah, he's in a bad spot, Marco.
Bad?
Yeah.
He's in a bad spot.
Now, I mean, a question for the rest of the guys, because I know Marco and I probably can't answer this, but having Asian there right now for ICM, possibilities, does that kind of like slow the game down a little bit in the sense of getting involved in a big hand just because he's going to be, next out and you're going to jump that pay grade?
Yeah, I feel like the coolers are going to be a little bit higher, like as far as all-in situations are concerned, like actually seeing a showdown all-in, like the coolers are going to have to be like queens versus aces. But like, as far as like action goes, I'm not sure. I think Doritos and Puli Meira and all-in, actually all of them are going to, except for Torkelora, have shown that they'll be 3-betting a lot now that they're doing this, because I'm sure they're all aware that Asian is, short, and they're not going to want to, get it in their way, that aware that the coolers of getting it in are going to have to be like queens plus.
Have some more action here. Tort's sizing is tiny. Like, I think it's really inducing.
Well, he's
He did get that induce. I wouldn't be surprised. I would strongly expect him to 5-bet this.
and he lets it go.
Wow, and he folds. That is so weird.
It's like counterproductive to the reason you min 3-bet. Like, he should definitely at least make the 3-bet bigger, or min 3-bet and then 5-bet. Like, you don't just min 3-bet fold.
Like, min 3-bet and then like just over min 5-bet, and like with how tight he's playing, like unless all the kid has like queens plus ace king, that's probably going to work. Yeah, Torkelor, as far as I can tell, has probably been playing the worst. I really can't imagine any kinds of hands that he'd have been playing this tight with, that he should be, and just like his sizings and some other things have been pretty terrible, especially that hand. I thought that hand was just a trainer.
Wasn't that kind of what happened with the other hand that he played, where he made like a small raise before the flop, and he got re-raised, and he was just like, ah. And it seemed odd given his stack at the time.
Yeah.
Such a mystery.
Like, I'm pretty jelly that he has a 6-figure already. Pretty jelly.
So it seems like the consensus across the board here is that Doritos is the best player, and he has everything to lose at this point at this final table.
Yeah, the P. Lamera guy doesn't seem like he'd be too far behind it at saying that Doritos is, the best player. I've even seen, all of the kid, he's taken some good spots. Like, he seems pretty solid for the most part. I mean, he's got, more than one, like multiple 4-bets through. And even times I'm sure he was 4-bet folding, he got it through.
Yeah, he definitely seems to be one of the better players there as well.
And Haram Para takes down the big blind of all, and the kid, oh my god, min raise by Torcolor 1.
2, there's
Ow.
stacks.
The world
I
watches.
really think if Asian shoves, that Torcolor is always calling.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Does it not seem like we may have regressed to the pre-final table tendencies of being very cautious the last couple of orbits? Here we have a limp from Asian in the small blind. Torcolor lets it go.
Yeah, this action has really slowed down a lot.
Yeah.
Everyone's very, very money conscious at this point. Which I guess really doesn't surprise me considering what the final six is. I'm sure to every single one of these players that, like, they're already at their largest scores ever or near their largest score ever.
Mm-hmm. That's almost, almost 30,000 dividing 5th and 6th place. So.
Oh, poor Marco.
See, Marco, I'm doing my best to say nothing now.
Why?
Just a good friend of mine, Rodney. He likes to go by number.
What about him?
His name's Rodney, but he likes to go by number 10 underscore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We go way back.
Oh, yeah? What's
Yeah.
on his mind lately?
Oh, it's just, he thinks that the commentary is great, but you and I, Marco, we pretty much, we equal...
Oh, I think he's referring to me.
That's got to be me.
Yeah. Let's read some viewer mail.
Yeah,
we have a
some
fan
recent
here.
chat. Some recent chatter on the Twitters. Thank you again. This is Rodney. He's a friend of mine from back in Canada. He goes by number 10 underscore. He says at QuadJacks.com. Cool live comm. I don't know what comm means. On the WCOOP FT. But Jesus Christ, please sir, this is a Christian show. Please shut the fuck up, or shut the host up. Just makes stupid comments and adds nothing at all. Keep the good comments coming our way. It kind of keeps us, our spirits up, Marco, here at QuadJacks. We appreciate the comments. Rodney, number 10. Thank you for taking the time out of your day, sir.
Rodney, number 10, if you're listening, so you're obviously on Twitter. Why don't you sign into the chat box with us and share some more input?
I think Torcolor's opening up a bit now. He just the second 3-bet fold he just made just now.
Well, I mean, it's got to be time for him to do it, right?
Yeah. I'm surprised his tight image isn't paying off better. Maybe the people who 4-bet him just had monsters or something. Or they knew.
Or they're listening. Torque might be listening and just smash. You know, and it's funny too because I hear all the time with this commentary and from a lot of friends that play on the online poker, you know, when you see somebody from, you know, Scandinavia or countries like that, you always think that they're going to be loose. Torque has definitely changed my opinion on that. Here's an all-in by Andy Frankenberger. And a call.
And
wow.
Jack.
Jack.
Heart! No.
I think Torque might be Rodney, and he's not pleased with our constant belittling of him. Or mine. You know?
and I just want to say for the record as well, Rodney21A, who is in our chat, Marco, is not my friend from back in Canada. But please have a little respect for at number 10 underscore. He is from the country in Canada, so no offense.
Oh, that's right. We have Rodney in chat.
Yes, we do. But anyway, so that puts... Who does that... That just knocks out... did that knock anybody out there? No. No.
Doubled up against All in the Kid.
Dodged the world on the turn.
I mean, they're playing right now for 100 crackers, 100 G's, Marco. That's a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty much what our sponsors paid for tonight.
Bryce.
Yeah, good
Okay.
read there. Yeah, just for all the people wondering who works and designs the site. That's all done by Rodney, our good friend at number 10 underscore. Look at, oh my god, we have a three-way
Actually,
flop. Guys, how long has it been since we've had a three-way flop? This is
Really long time, which isn't surprising at all.
and
And I also think that Asian constantly asking about the deal, that the more he asks about it, the less likely the deal is going to go through, and the less likely he's going to be happy about what people are going to offer him.
Yeah, his chop is not going to be very pleasable to him.
well, I mean, he's
Everyone's going to ask for him to give up even more, and he's just going to be unhappy with it.
this is an interesting development we have here. Can we have 3 to a turn? Is the question.
No, Torque's
That would be horrible.
I think PU probably has a king here. I'd be pretty surprised if they had a draw. I would expect a lot of their draws to check raise flop just because it looked so strong, or to donk lead flop.
What sort of kings do you think he calls out of the small blind? King, queen, king, jack?
Yeah, king, queen, and king, queen, and king, jack only.
Yeah,
King, jack.
that's exactly what King does. I don't think he has to check raise. Like, I don't think he's gonna automatically be check raising his draws because, I mean, he doesn't want to lose value from him. Like, not that he's going to be losing value from him a lot, but he probably doesn't. His head, like, at this final table, he's like, I don't want to just get it in right now with a draw.
Well, I don't think he could even raise fold with it. Like, you just do it because
Yeah.
you have a lot of equity when you are called, and you have a lot of full equity as well, three-way. Like, I don't think Doritos is ever going to bet call with worse than king jack or anything like that, and might even just decide to fold king jack there.
Yeah, I agree. You're probably going to be winning the pot more times check raising than calling and actually making it if you have a draw.
I'm very surprised he called flop and folded turn. He probably had a hand like nines or something weird like that. Pretty decent sized 3-bet by Alm.
a little big. I think that's a pretty polarizing 3-bet.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like he's either just like doing it with air and just really wants to fold, or he's just nutted and really wants to get ripped on.
Seems like a great spot for Torque to take right there, just based on Doritos opening up under the gun and his tight image. You know, can you make moves like that once you've given yourself a tight image and put the squeeze on?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
like
if Torque 3-bet there, that would be a perfect spot, because like Doritos is going to be only going to be able to proceed with like the very top of his range, as is all in the kid.
That's what came to my mind. Ryan, you were going to say something as well?
I was gonna say that the good, tighter players are capable of doing that stuff. Like, they're aware of how tight their image is, and then like they 3-bet 2 napkins there because it's always getting through.
Right.
Like if he had deuce 7 offsuit, he could still just 3-bet there just because of the amount it's going to work. He doesn't really need that much equity, and how tight his image is in general. It doesn't even matter what he flops, anyways.
Mm-hmm. Now, Rupert, what do you think about
Especially
that?
with Doritos.
Go ahead, Jono.
Oh, I guess especially with Doritos under the gun steal percentage, like.
So here he does it here, though.
It's like kind of. It's interesting.
Isn't that strange? You know what I mean? Like, the dynamics of the last hand were
Right.
such that he could have done
But
it. Go ahead.
He might have been thinking, oh, I'm not going to get 2 people to fold, or oh, it's too obvious of a squeeze. But I think he's calling the shove. Yeah.
Good read. Fade? No fade.
Oh, brutal.
He only gets it in with jacks, aces, and ace king.
Yeah. Well, there goes there goes Marco's. That's the fan favorite, Marco, if you ask me. Torkalort, better known as @number10_ on Twitter. He goes out for $100,008, guys. So a lot of money, you know.
I know he's not complaining.
Well, I'm sure he'll be pretty tilted, but congratulations, man, and 6 figures will ease your pain.
Yeah, of course. And I think that it's funny that we were just bringing that. I brought that up with that squeeze spot that he could have took it, and then he takes the second, you know, the best thing. I don't know. What could he have done? I think he should have taken that spot before, personally.
I thought that he played only his cards this entire final table and did nothing like out of line at all, which is why I even said I'm pretty sure he snap calling the shove. I'm pretty sure he's just nutted here.
Right.
And he was.
Now, how does, you know, what's your opinion, guys? And I want to start with you, Rupert, because you've banked $1 million score live. So, like, how does a player like that make a final table?
Well, he made a lot of good hands. Like, he got the aces against queens at this, you know, at this final table alone. He had the ace against the queens.
Right.
He had the jacks against was it ace6 or ace7?
Yeah.
So I mean, he just ran pretty hot. I guess when tight players run hot, then they're generally going to get it in good and just be blinded down the rest of the time. So
right. So it is possible to play tight and still make a final table of an event with almost 1,400 people.
Yep.
I'm sure more tight fish make final tables than like loose fish. I'm sure, obviously, like.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
Yeah, I mean the problem with that strategy is it's like most of the money in tournaments comes from the top 3 positions. So if you're constantly coming 8th or 9th or whatever, then you're not going to make the big money.
Right.
Don't I know that?
Yeah,
For sure.
I brought all that up just for a little bit of hope for you, Marco. There is hope, and here we've got another big hand brewing.
It's probably for value too.
Okay, what's
And
going
here
to
we
happen?
go.
Wow.
Yeah.
Value as well.
Doritos
Queens versus tens.
Doritos.
Jack.
Ugh. Yeah, tens
Look
versus.
at Fully Meira.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so brutal.
And that now,
Yeah,
guys,
that's really brutal.
let's think about that. I mean, this now really, the dynamics of the table completely just changed.
Yeah, like that. Those 2 hands just completely shifted the momentum of this final table.
Yeah, I think it was pretty obvious that Lamero was for value too. Like,
yeah,
this
I thought
think
it was
just
value
like,
too.
yeah,
And
for
like
sure.
even Doritos 3 bets Yeah, Doritos 3-bet sizing was for value too. I thought his sizing was way too big. And like the 900K, like I think like when especially when a reg makes it like all zeros, it looks just so much more nutted as well. And I honestly think that tens is a fold here.
I mean, yeah, especially when you make it 400K and he makes it like a full 500 over. Like, I don't know. It's easy to say once the hands get all in, but it's not like Lemaire is just randomly going to be
right
making it huge pre-flop.
Is that though, guys? Guys, is that kind of a spot where Doritos is overthinking ICM with Asian sitting there and thinking that he can get the guy to fold a better hand? I mean, it just seems so.
No, he wasn't turning tens into a bluff there. I don't think anyone ever thinks that Pumilaria is folding like worse than. Like,
well, hey, I just thought of it, Ryan. So obviously somebody does.
Yeah.
Just fucking with you.
I think if PIU is 5-betting jacks, he's doing it purely for value, and is just snapping at it.
All right.
I don't hate like Doritos just flatting out of the big blind. I mean, I don't know, 5 though, picking up tens. I don't know if I'm exactly just folding, but that was just as far as like the sizings of the bets. It was just obvious that Lemaire was just like wanting to get this in.
Right.
Yeah.
Got an update from. Just wanted to say I got an update from Andy Frankenberger. He says, "Dude, I am playing WPT at Borgata."
So is that him admitting that he has a VPN service?
That's him admitting that he's. Sorry, Ryan. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Pretty sure everyone in poker is a troll.
Well, speaking of trolls, I have a story that I wanted to share.
Earlier. Somebody asked us who's doing our maintenance on the website, Marco, and how did I miss that spot?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't want to interrupt the action.
I was just going to say, this has to be an all-in right now.
Here we go.
Yeah,
Doritos. Oh, wow. Doritos in.
If
the last
Asian
of his
folds.
chips.
Wow.
Okay.
Oh, God.
How did that go down?
I'm looking at that now.
That was so.
Doritos min-raise pre-flop. Asian calls with 8-9 offsuit. Well, I had Asian marked as being somewhat decent, but I think I'm lowering them down in my books.
And I just played the replayer for everybody watching, and he check call to river. That's sick.
Asians all in, and all in the called calls. Ace 8 versus King Jack. Comes Jack and Ace. And Alan the Kid takes us down. Asian. Okay, so now Andy can focus on the WPT Borgata.
Exactly, yeah. And Andy
he probably wanted a bust. Come on.
Right. Well, now that you outed him.
He's like, fuck, they're on to me.
They're on to me, I have to bust. Anyways, Ajan Marco from the Netherlands, 135,000.
Taking 5th.
Yeah. I'm taking your job, Ryan.
136.
I'm sorry. Four-handed.
Yeah, that's been my job. So mean.
I know, dude. Four-handed. This is where we kind of thought there would be talks of chops. Doritos being the short stack now, you have to think that he'd want to take a look and see if he can negotiate a little bit more, no? I'll take that.
Yeah, like if with PIU being interested, it's it's pretty likely that they'll get to at least discussing.
Okay.
Because I'm sure Doritos at this point would be more interested in getting to the deal and trying to get a decent deal, being short stack and working something.
Right.
I mean, I would expect Haram or Alm to be willing to give up a decent bit, and with PU being willing to give up a little bit as well.
Sure.
Going back to the 8-9 hand, I thought like if you're going to call pre-flop, then I think you have to call the flop. But I think calling the turn and river there was an absolute disaster.
Yeah,
I mean, calling pre-flop is
like what was he folding before? Like all the other hands he folded his big blind. I want to know what hands he was folding. Like,
yeah.
Well, why did he decide that like 8-9 off was the point where he's like, fuck this, like.
It's off a shorter stack as well. If you're gonna like play that sort of hand, you might as well be quite deep with the other guy so that you can.
That probably could have been like a stress-induced play, as in because as we had seen earlier, he had been like trying to push through a deal as a short stack,
Right.
and he probably just got to the point of like, I don't know what I'm thinking. Call. Like, he was just so stressed out about the amount of money on the line that he just started button clicking.
Yeah,
What an awful time to have that moment happen. Like, why would you ever want that to happen?
And especially against that, and Jono, especially against Doritos. Like, it was right when Doritos was down in chips and almost even.
I know, like, that's horrible.
Hey, listen.
It's almost like laughable. Like, I really don't understand. Do people really just melt down like that? Like,
I mean, that's why certain regs can have such a huge edge on these kinds of final tables, is because when you have so many people that are so scared about the money jumps, people's games go out the window, and they start, like, thinking everyone's bluffing them, thinking everyone's, like, always has it or never has it, or, like, you start thinking really illogically and start worrying more about the money on the line or whatever versus playing very well.
So he was thinking, what you're saying there, Ryan, is that Asian was thinking that Doritos couldn't have it. He flopped a 9 or an 8, whatever it was, and he's calling down.
Yeah, essentially. He just decided to go with that, and that was obviously a pretty big mistake, and he's probably going to regret that for a very long time.
You know exactly how he feels right now, too. Like, when you just, like, completely station off the tournament, you're just like, what was I thinking? But I've never done that. I don't think I could ever just do that and live with myself, like, at this final table. Like, there's just no way.
It was a very heroic call out. I can think of almost no bluffs Doritos would ever have there.
Yeah, I don't think he's ever fluffing either, to be honest.
Like, even if he had clubs, I feel like he'd just give it up on the river or something.
Oh god, what if he was bluffing? Though? How crazy would, like...
That would be like the sickest read ever.
He called relatively quickly, too. Like, it wasn't... He kind of snapped it, like...
So it looks like we are going to be... Yeah, there will be a deal after this, Marco. For all the deal fans out there, Marco, what do you say?
Or no deal.
Isn't that a TV show?
It is.
Never really got.
What do you want me to say to what do you think, Marco? Yes, there will be a deal. I'm not really sure. Okay, here we go.
I don't even know.
Are we going to be showing?
I don't even know if I can.
Come on.
Yes, I can. Okay. I didn't know if it was going to pop out. All right. Deal talk.
Okay, so from what I can see, Pew's pretty interested in dealing. Haram's pretty interested in dealing. Alm doesn't seem that interested, and neither does Doritos, or at least they're trying to appear that way. So
yeah,
I think Alm and Doritos are probably going to be like trying to work out getting more money a lot harder than Pew and then Haram, and Pew might be willing to give up a decent bit just to lock up, say, a bit over second place money.
Well, I'm sure you guys have a lot more, experience with deal making, but you kind of brought up a point where, like, they're not really interested, but yet they all click the button, so they have to be somewhat interested. Right. Is this just a way that poker players, sell themselves as like, hey, I don't want to do a deal, but I'll look at the numbers sort of way?
Right. Yeah, like the I'll look or Doritos not saying a word.
Right.
Yeah, you never want to be the first one to say anything.
Right. Like,
this is kind of
Haram was the first person saying something. PU was like, Snap said yes, I'm interested as Big Stack. Like, I just think the two of them are so willing to like look at the numbers and stuff that they're just like really excited for it. And while Doritos, Doritos even saying pretty sure it's not going to work with chip count, but let's see the numbers. Like, Alm and Doritos probably do want the deal, but they just aren't acting excited because, like Doritos saying, I won't take less than ICM. And Pew Malaria is probably going to be interested in giving up a decent bit to try to get Doritos and Alm to get through and try to lock up, like, say, around second place money. I mean, because at this point, it's not like they're really deep, and four-handed poker plays so unbelievably wild. Just like look at the swings that happen in, say, the high-stakes 6-max games. The 200, 300 big blind swings back and forth so quickly. Short-handed poker, it's wild, it's crazy, and no matter how good you are and how big of an edge you have at this point, as either of the big stacks, you aren't really all that comfortable. Okay. It's a really big jump in money. There's a lot of variance involved, and it's tends to be a better deal, a better idea in general to try to lock up a deal. Unless you have like some kind of ridiculous bankroll, but I don't think either of these guys have enough money where they should like always be playing versus taking a like as the chip leader. Like it might be better for the chip leader to take a slightly bad deal just to lock it up.
Got it. Now,
like, I mean, if I'm Lamera though, I'm like pushing for like some pretty big numbers because with his stack sizes and like the skills of the players that have, you know, like all of the kids, he's good enough, but like you can easily just like with overtime aggression is gonna wear him down. Like I'd be pushing for like pretty big numbers if I'm Lamera. Like I mean, obviously not more than all in the kid, but I'm trying to get like a decent chunk. But it doesn't seem like it because he wants to do the chat like more than the deal more than anybody.
Right, he seems really willing.
Well, is this also some spots where you could get this chip count deal out on the table so that people after you go back from this talk can sort of again look at the numbers and be playing a little scared? Does that make sense?
Yeah, to some degree. Like it might be good to look at the deals and try to get in people's heads with that, but I think everyone at this point has looked at the lobby so many times, like that each of them knows exactly what each payout is.
But
like,
yeah, no, that's not what I was.
To the $100.
What I was saying, Ryan, was that what they're worth right now. Like looking right now, the lowest on the totem pole, Doritos, is getting, you know, way more than 4
an extra $50,000.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, there's no way Doritos is going to accept this.
Right. What do you think his number will be if he actually types this in? If he takes it, like, would he say like?
Probably around 290.
Nice. Now, if he can get that, how sick would that be?
I doubt he will. Like that's probably what his number will end up being. But like, I think he should be happy with getting anything above like 275 and just take it.
Yeah, for sure. I wouldn't try to push like. Because sometimes, like, if you break a deal that you was already good before, you end up hating yourself for it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, ICM is going to get him around 270, which is what I was saying. That, yeah, I only deal with the numbers, no change. This isn't going through. Zero chance this goes through. Once Haram bounce. Yeah, okay, let's go.
All right.
They should have just looked at the ICM numbers first. This was a waste of time.
Right, but Stars doesn't put up ICM numbers. They don't.
They do. They do now. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, they do now. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would.
They didn't in the past.
That's crazy.
Oh, it's nice that they did.
Yeah, like 6 months ago when I was playing it, they didn't do the ICM numbers. I don't know if they do it now.
They give you an option now, and you can say either chip or ICM.
They also give you an option.
Yeah, that's why I thought it was kind of.
Go ahead.
That's why I thought it was kind of clever of Pew to suggest the chip count when the ICM numbers were available. But
well, of course he's going to suggest chip count.
Yeah, I mean, no one's going to fall for it, but you never know.
Like it's his way of having the numbers appear a lot higher. So when he's quote-unquote giving up some, he can actually try to get a better deal than what ICM says is proper.
Right.
For those in the audience who don't know what ICM is, it's what does it actually mean?
It's
a something chip model.
Independent?
Yeah, independent chip model. That's what it is.
Yeah,
It essentially converts your stack to a real dollar value based off of where you're going to finish on average long run based off of the amount of money left and what the payout structure is. The issue with ICM though is that it assumes that all skill is equal. So if you feel that you have a bigger edge on the field, then you should probably be looking to get a decent bit above ICM. And then if you feel that you don't have an edge on the field, then it's going to be in your interest to try to push for more than ICM, but be very happy to get ICM.
Well said.
These guys are pretty gangster in their talk too. Like they're just like, I'm taking my numbers and nothing else. Otherwise,
I
just play.
And well, I like how the kids yeah, I'm gonna take the numbers, but if you guys want to give the Dorito guy over there some money, go ahead.
It's so gangster.
Yeah, Haram and Al both saying that. So it all comes down to whether or not Pew is willing to give up enough to make this deal go through.
And they're asking, why aren't you guys talking? Maybe they've taken a break, you know? Maybe they walked away from their screens. I don't know.
Look, so Harem's like, no, so Lemare, you willing to give up my money? Because I'm not. Obviously.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's kind of a waste of time. But I'm glad we put the chat up for our viewers, because it's very interesting to see all these tournaments, Marco, that we can't play.
I would be impressed if we could integrate it with our own chat.
Yeah! Yeah, all deals must be handled on QuadJacks.tv chat. Kind of like
you can tell that Haram really, really wants this deal, but like there's just
he even threw Mister on the front of Dorito.
Yeah.
Like he tried to be super polite. I don't think anybody in the history of life's ever been called Mr. Dorito.
Yeah, and I don't think PIU or Doritos are dumb enough to not always try to push for a lot more.
Tony Sins Z from our chat says, how does no one ask to show ICM? Good question.
That is a good question.
Oh, Doritos did instantly. He said, let's look at ICM.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I have no idea. Doritos should definitely
I love how
try to get some ICM numbers.
Well, and I love how now Doritos, he might be playing this correctly. They're saying that they're not going to talk numbers, and now the people saying that they weren't going to talk, you know, are now saying, hey, you know, what do you want? How's 250K? This is playing out, I think, very well for Doritos. Yeah, and he says 1 second. Keep them thinking, Doritos. That would be my play if I was Doritos.
I mean, he's not in the worst shape. He may be short stack, but he's not like, it's not like he's hanging on. Like, if he wins any big pots, like he's gonna be easy to just squeeze out. You know what I mean? He's gonna put some pressure on people.
I imagine when he says 1 sec, he's actually just working out the ICM numbers.
Yeah, he's seeing what ICM actually is and what he should be getting.
They have apps out there for all this, don't they?
Yeah.
Okay.
If it's 250, I'm good.
You said ICM was 270, Ryan?
Oh, someone in chat did. And that's what I was saying, that he should probably ask for around 270, 275.
And now he's saying if it's
if
250.
ICM 250, then.
Oh, so maybe they did show. So they did post ICM numbers. They did post ICM numbers.
Okay.
That actually makes a lot of sense as to the numbers they posted.
When he says if it's 250, I'm good. Like, I'm good to keep playing, or I'm good with the deal.
He's good with the deal.
I can see. He's good.
Yeah, I think he's good with the deal.
Okay.
Yeah, it could be interpreted either way, though. That's interesting. He'd be like, if it's 250, nah, I'm good.
Yeah, well, he didn't say nah, you know?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at it that way, you know, it's $6,000 each person. I don't know. I guess I'm not like a chop knit, and I'm not in their spot, but it seems to be a pretty easy spot to be like, okay, here's 6K, shut the guy up. He's probably better than me anyway.
Yeah. They each give him 6K, goes through.
Yeah. And they're playing, you know, what do you guys make of them saying that you have to play for X amount, you know? Is that good for the game?
I like it.
Okay. Rupert?
Like, I think it's pretty good. I mean, because I always like for the rest of the tournament to mean something.
Yeah, definitely. More than just the bracelet. Or more than just the, you know, the... Yeah. Apparently for ICM, for everyone who's interested, there's something called ICM-izer. ICM-I-Z-E-R.
Cool. Is it like an app for the iPhones?
Might be. I have no idea.
I'm looking at their website right now. Yeah, hard to say. It's definitely in Russian. Does that like just kind of go to show that they're kind of like a tighter nation of poker players? They're like the short stacking guys.
The sit and go grinders.
Yeah, you know, that are constantly grinding ICM after the first hand's dealt. What do we got going on here in our chat? It says I give 4.5k because I got a smaller stack. You guys. Okay, so now all the kids saying, "Hey guys, no. The max I'll put in
I'll put
is
3K in." And Karam said he'll put in 4.5. So now PIU needs to be willing to put in 12,
What the?
or this deal won't go through.
You know, these are the times where I hope that they don't deal, and the next two out are the kid and Para. You know, it's crazy.
Sweet, I just did an avatar change, and it went through right away.
Somebody just got laughed at.
Well, yeah.
Well, let's go. Yeah, they
he's
want to.
laughing, Marco, because they're like pushing it on him to be the one that makes this deal happen, and he's like, "Screw you."
Yeah, Pew Limeira has made such a comeback.
Oh shit! He's saying I'll put
Yeah,
the rest.
really-
What?
And now he shows himself to be a great benefactor.
Yeah. Now he's saying, "Fuck it." You know what? You guys, you don't want to put up the money. I will.
That was like the worst negotiating ever.
Right?
Yeah, like,
What are you doing?
Yeah, dude. He's like, "LOL, let's go." Like, and that sounded to me like he wanted to play, and then he's like, "Fuck it."
Like,
2 seconds
yeah.
later, I'll do it. God damn, dude.
Maybe the next line is going to be like "up your ass."
Alan says he'll put in only 3K max, and he's guaranteed. Like, I don't know how much the number was, but it was a whole lot. And he's like, I'm only giving 3K.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, that's what I'm saying. These guys are hilarious.
These guys have so much money, and you guys have no idea. Like, he has to have so much money.
Yeah, I think the kid's like Andy Beal, right? Like, how rich are these guys, Marco? You know?
Sick read.
Sheldon Adelson.
Yeah, Sheldon
Mr.
Adelson.
Host, fill up Doritos winnings to 250k. I give him 4.5. Ain, 3k, and you Limeira the rest. Goral. One moment while we work out the figures.
You should do that
My
voice in
face.
the computer voice, Marco. Green chat.
The Goral.
Well, just green chat. Yeah.
One moment.
Yes.
I sound like
This is pretty sick,
so
you
the
know?
show holds.
This is probably like the best and worst negotiations I've ever seen.
How's
For
it
sure.
best?
yeah, like Doritos worked himself up to a pretty solid deal.
Like, he's
And then-
plus 18,000 on the deal, and Lemira's minus 10K.
Minus, yeah.
With the second biggest stack just.
That's ridiculous.
And he's got
What most
the,
people don't realize is that, like, deal making is almost as important as being able to play well when it comes to mid to high stakes tournaments.
No, of course.
So when you make this kind of final table, like, the amount of pressure that you can put on amateurs or on people who just really, really want the top money is pretty huge. And you can make a lot of money because of it, as we're seeing right here.
No, of course. I mean, I think you bring up a good point. But yeah, I mean, this is just pure amateur hour on deal making. These are the guys that go into a car dealership and the price is 40,000 and they buy it for 62. You know, it's just,
Yeah, for sure.
I don't get it. But you know, one thing I want to bring up is I know that Rupert, you final tabled an EPT. You know, one and Jono, you went heads up this summer at the World Series. The differences between live tournaments and the ability to make deals. I know that the WSOP frowns against deal making because of the bracelet. What about the EPT, and what's your guys' comments on live chops in big money tournaments? Start.
Well, Rupert shipped his tournament, so I'm sure he'd be able to comment better on it.
Well, yeah, but you were still in a spot where you could talk, though. Like,
Well, the guy that I got heads up with, like, we got heads up like 11 million to 3 million. Like, he had so many chips. He just ran, like, he wasn't even close to chip counts. He wasn't even looking to entertain the thought of him. I mean, I didn't ask either, but it just seemed like there's just no way he was going to give up $1 because he had so many chips. He was just running over the deck.
How about you, Rupert? Did you have any talks when you were at your final table EPT victory?
The EPT has a policy where we had to leave, I think it was 100,000 or 150,000 euros for first.
Okay.
But when we were four-handed, it was myself, two of my friends, Max Heinzelmann and Schwanlu, and Max Lykov, who is Team Pokerstars Pro. So they're all like pretty good players. And I suggested we made a deal, and Max Heinzelmann immediately shot it down. And then Max Lykov bust, and I suggested it again, and he shot it down again. Then we got heads up, and then we just chopped it all. But yeah. So officially, we were meant to leave some for first, but we just ended up chopping it all because we knew each other. So I don't know. There was no like trust issue. Or anything.
Look at Doritos! This is awesome. Doritos trying to squeak in an extra 500 here last minute. Everybody's agreed to the number. This is so sick. I would have put like a 25 cents on it as well.
What a great joke. I like that so much. Fucking awesome.
Marco, do the laughter of Gorell.
You want me to do the what? What? Who?
What? Nothing. Green chat in computer voice.
Ha! 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 Ha!
Thank you. Why? So let's just go over these numbers, guys. I mean, I think like, whoopsie. I think that this was a great deal to watch for the jokes. But we got the kid, 345,000. We've got Umera with 334, Pero with 291, and a bag of chips bringing in for 250,000.
Nice.
Yeah, I think Doritos and All in the Kid got 8k and 9k over ICM respectively, at the expense of the other two.
Okay, now I'm being asked by Rodney, not my number 10 friend, because Plo made the deal. Do you want him to win? I honestly don't really care who wins. So actually, at this point, I want the Dorito bags to win. There you go. I said it.
Oh, Mr. Dorito, eh?
Yeah, you know, is he an actual Canadian? Do we have any, intelligence, Marco, on Doritos?
I don't have anything on Doritos.
I have no idea.
I haven't really had time to look up these guys. Otherwise,
Well, I was looking at his stats, and he at one point on Stars he'd been up nearly 300k. Well, now he's back up over that. But he was in over $100,000 downswing and was over a pretty decent number of games as well. So this is clearing his downswing by a decent amount.
Yeah, and I guarantee that this forehand is going to go like pretty fast. I mean, maybe not like super fast, but I mean 25k on a scale of like when you're dealing with 300k is not as enticing, obviously.
Yeah, people just kind of start almost giving up to some degree and stop caring, even though it's like they're at this point they're just like, I'm tired, I don't care, let's just end this and go to sleep or whatever, or party. Some of them might even be drinking already, celebrating their deal. Yeah, like Doritos is just
he's just shoving it. Jack.
And Dunsky.
Good game, Doritos.
$250,000. Can't be upset with that.
No doubt.
which is more than 4th place, right?
Yeah, that's nearly 3rd place.
Nearly, wow.
I think that hand's a cooler, given that it's just winner take all now.
Yeah, that hand's very standard.
Yeah.
So essentially, they're playing a four-handed sit and go for $25,000. Is that what you're saying, Rupert?
Yeah, pretty much.
So this is now where there is no ICM, and you're supposed to just make every CEV decision.
And for all of our folks out there that are a little behind on the internet terms,
chip equity decision. Sorry. Yeah, I can get pretty nerdy at times.
Just taking notes here, Ryan. Don't mind us.
By the way, I when we were talking, I think you guys were talking about the WSOP this year, maybe a final table that Rupert made. I remember I read out his name.
Myself.
What's that?
Jono and myself. I don't think Rupert made a final table this summer.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I did not know.
I keep getting confused about the panel. I keep embarrassing myself. But I remember Rupert. I remember reading out Rupert's name once this summer in one of our. Remember, Zach, we used to do our daily news reports that Dan has put together for us, and Rupert figured in one of those once. Here we go, event number 53. Mario Nagel is the chip leader after day 1 play with Rupert Elder and Brian Piccioli both finishing day 1 with top 10 chip stacks. This is the $1,500 no-limit hold'em.
And Marco, we got the 888 bet for Shane Warne.
He's definitely got pocket eight to it, like, every time.
Is that?
I'm just kidding.
I always read into that. Like, is that? Am I just a fish when I just think if somebody bets like 3-3-3, I just fold when I have Ace King here?
I did do that today, though, for sure.
Is that why you kind of like...
With 3-3-3.
You did?
Yeah, but I honestly didn't do it on purpose, but in the middle of me typing, I was like, oh shit, I got a set of threes, and I might as well type a bunch of threes.
We got some action here. I mean, this should get interesting. I'm wondering if he's just going to shove it in at this point.
Maybe he'll click it back again.
That would be cool, like a limit poker game at
So
this point.
3-3-3-3-3-3-3-3-3-3. I like that number a lot. Oh.
So the blind's going up. What does that do for the play at this point?
Speeds it up a bit, I guess.
Thank you. Thank you.
Same as usual.
It makes the big blind bigger, you idiot.
Well, actually, the small blind's going to be a little bit bigger, too.
You guys are rocket scientists at this point. And now, like, slowing it back down, we got an actual, you know, normal min raise here, and they fold. Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, they're still pretty deep. They're, what, like 46 big blinds with Aaron. So there's still plenty of play left.
Of course, yeah, it's not like they have to make... They don't have to get this over with. And especially, you know, coming from a bunch of guys, the two guys that are left now were the ones that were squabbling over giving up 6K out of their, you know, mid-size home in California. You know, they should be playing pretty hard for this $25,000, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's funny how, like, when you're dealing with hundreds of thousands, you're like, oh, 25K, we'll just toss that aside. But I mean, that's like, you know, a car or whatever.
Right.
Like, what are you doing?
Well, that's like a
Hey, and the bracelet.
Exactly.
Yeah, and the bracelet. Yeah, trust me. I know. I wish I had a bracelet.
Okay, we're on break. We're gonna let Jono, you know, think about the bracelet that he almost had, and we'll be right back.
Oh man, I think about it all the time.
And I'll think about the fact I haven't taken top 3 yet.
And Marco and I will take this opportunity to tell a funny story, Marco. What do you say?
Yeah, should I begin?
Yeah, I mean, because you're the one that kind of brought it up. You know, you brought it up to me, and I was pleasantly unsurprised that somebody's working with us, but yet they're really not. I mean, it sucks, right?
I mean, let's make it also a bit of an educational segment for our listeners. Now, when you have an online site, when you have a website,
yes,
especially in poker, you get, you know, you deal with trolls, and we've dealt with every possible troll imaginable.
Even had them come up to us this summer.
People who come up to us this summer, people who nag at you constantly, who really try to bring you down, haters like the guy we were quoting on. This was a first. The guy we're about to talk today was a first. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this in the 2+ years or 3+ years we've done QuadJacks. So, okay, so once in a while, like every 2 weeks or so, because that's when like it expires. I think the window expires. I search for QuadJacks on Twitter. You know, I like to see if people are tweeting about who's tweeting about QuadJacks, who's tweeting links to QuadJacks. That's a good thing to know. Okay, and it's a good thing I do that because a couple of days ago, and I'd forgotten about this guy until
I love what
somebody
you say to me,
earlier.
though. I love that what you say to me. Like, this is just the way I heard about it was great too. Keep going.
Yeah, I remember this guy. I'd forgotten about him. Someone said earlier, Marco, who maintains the site. Okay, so I'm looking for QuadJacks, and there's a guy whom I see. I'm just gonna put the link here. Okay.
Yeah.
Look at this conversation. All right. Hold on a second.
Sure. This is awesome. You got it?
Are you gonna? Yeah, I got it. Here we go. So everybody, go on this link that I just put in chat. This is a conversation. You know, Twitter plays it in the form of a conversation. Some guy named Jack Storm, who is not the guy we're talking about, asks Ben Turpin. This was on the 8th of September. have you heard any online poker regulation news lately? And the tweet I read was this Ben guy responding and saying, presumably you heard about Pokerstars buying Full Tilt. I'm not even that in tune myself. All I know is usually whatever I do for QuadJacks. And I read that, I was like, what the hell? Did he mean like what he hears on QuadJacks, maybe? Not what he does for... Who the fuck is this Benjamin Bravado guy?
And thanks for Jack
Storm. So I got curious.
Well, thanks for Jack Storm
Yeah, so I got
back.
curious, and I clicked on the whole conversation, and the guy says, what do you do for them, a blog or some shit? And here's Benjamin Bravado's response. Me and another guy split duties running the social media outlets and website. I usually edit all the audio and maintain the site.
So I get woken up to this whole thing by Marco saying to me, "Who the fuck is this guy?" Like I've got somebody working for us, that you didn't know about.
Yeah, here's the thing. Okay, so it should be stated right away. This man has absolutely nothing to do with QuadJacks.
Zero.
Okay? Rodney works for QuadJacks more than this guy does. All right. Now I'm thinking, okay, maybe he's is he referring to another site? Does he have a mistake?
Right.
No, I go on his Facebook, which he also puts in his Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I go on his, and this is actually what worried us, and we should be worried about this sort of thing. Go look at his Facebook. Look at where it says works at QuadJacks.com, and apparently anybody can do that. Apparently anybody can go on their Facebook and claim they work for us.
I know it's
now. Here's the thing, and Zach, we get to Zach. This was at like 3 in the morning. Like I guess there was like a 5% chance, maybe less, a little less than 5%, but actually suspected, less than 5% of me suspected that Zach was employing people behind my back, and that he wasn't telling me about them. Like when he says me and another guy, is he referring to Zach? Like,
I mean, come on, dude. You put it at it could be up to 5% that I would have somebody working for us and not tell you.
Less than 5%.
Less than 5.
Listen, I don't know.
Holy
less than
shit!
5.
Wow.
Well, listen, this seemed like very dedicated trolling. Like it's like, who is this? What is this guy doing? Oh
I don't know.
God.
I can't believe that number is less than 5. I think it would be less than 0.1%. But
all right, I think. Well, listen. In retrospect, yes, but like at the time, I was a little anxious, and I'm like, maybe there's something. Like, does Zach know this guy or anything? And I Skyped Zach in quite a panic. Because it doesn't really bug me. Like what bugs us is that people go. I mean, this guy believes it. This guy responds, and he's like, right on.
Yeah.
So
oh yeah, it's great. Yeah, you do good work for those guys.
People shouldn't be pretending to work for QuadJacks, and if they do, I hope you're being paid more money than I am.
Yeah, exactly.
I hope we're making it this imaginary guy's time. Anyway, what do you make of it, Zach?
Fuck him. I tweeted at him and said, "Hey, what's up, dude?"
Yeah, you tweeted.
And the motherfucker, the guy's my fucking employee, and he doesn't even say anything. That's what I say about it. I say, "Fuck him." You know what I mean? When your boss says, "Hey, what's up?" and you don't respond, you're fired. So I fired him. He's fired tonight on air. That's what I say, Marco.
You're firing Ben Turpin.
Yeah, Ben, you've been fired.
No call, no show.
I don't know. Like,
yeah, thank you,
how do we handle
Jono.
This guy,
dude. Like Jono just said, no call. Or what is it, Jono? What'd you say?
No call, no show. That's just like what you say when you don't call into work.
Right. Well, the thing is, though, Jono, he's never done anything for us. So, like...
I know.
This guy's...
I think I say I work at Pokerstars. I think on my Facebook it says I work at Pokerstars.
Well said.
Well, actually, it might say wherever the money is, too. But I don't know. That's not a real place.
Well, listen, Jono, don't say you work at QuadJacks because you will be fired, like whatever the fuck the guy's name is. But anyways, Marco, what I say, just to get back to the action, because we got tens. Look at this. Pretty big guy.
Oh, that's gross, too.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really brutal.
That's a big hand. Pretty much handcuffs our friend Yumera.
Wow.
Roll up, guy.
Pretty sure I just heard roll up a gunner, but I'll act like I didn't. And here we go. Can he hit a 7?
Oh, he does. That's brutal. Only 25 grand playing for, but
And here's the two guys that need $25,000 more than Sheldon Adelson and Stephen Wynn put together. This should be a grueling...
Identical chip stacks.
yeah, this is going to be... Like, I give it over, I think, 2 hours before this is done, guys.
I hope you're wrong,
Right,
because either way I'm going to leave soon.
Yeah, I don't want to be here for more than 10 minutes, so if Para can, you know, speed things up. But anyways, Marco, concluding, yeah, fuck that guy saying he works
No,
for us.
I just put it in chat right now too. Like, guys, you know, at the end of every show, I say make sure, you know, to send out tweets to the people who were so nice to make time for us. Tonight, I want you to send out tweets to Ben and thank him for the great job that he's doing maintaining the site and editing all the audio. What does he say? He edits all the audio, right?
Yeah.
I usually edit all the audio and maintain the site.
Well, let me tell you one thing, Ben. I do a lot of that, and you've been missing fucking work, you idiot.
Yeah, you're behind, Ben. Like, what is wrong with this person? But that's the problem. See, like, look, I mean, I see
Marco,
he's
the
got some
tweets are already
friends,
coming in, bro. At Ben, sorry to
Tweets?
hear about your public firing at QuadJacks. We wish you luck in your future endeavors. Fuck, dude. Trying to cover poker here.
Oh, sick.
Well done, Mazel. That gets a retweet, I think. Oh boy, but like, yeah, that's the thing. Like, that's the problem. Like, you see, I think even Rupert pointed out that like he's got mutual friends. Like, this guy's befriending people in poker,
Right.
who, like, you know, I mean, they probably don't have a particular reason to be that distrustful. They probably think he's for real. So, like, this
Ryan's
guy's
one of the mutual friends.
Yeah, I mean, listen, and I was Googling it, like, how do you block somebody from listing, you know, your site as employment? We do not employ this man. It's that simple. Here's another one. Sorry it didn't work out with QuadJacks. That's amazing. Thanks so much, guys.
Yeah.
Wow. What a fucking idiot. Ben Turpin.
Little action here. And the kid folds for a better opportunity.
It'd be so much nicer seeing like two accomplished regs playing 100 bigs deep. Like, this would be pretty sick.
Yeah, do you think that they're going to get out of line?
I don't think it's gonna get like too many levels are gonna be reached. I think it's gonna be a lot of like taking a long time and then just like getting it in for some flip or cooler or whatever.
Right.
Oh, wow, there's a response by Benjamin.
What?
Not the same site, guys. Enjoy your work, though. Really? Is there another site called QuadJacks that just so happens
.net.
to have the same Facebook
.net.
profile as us?
.tv. Yeah.
What a fucking moron this guy is. Oh my god, keep it going.
Yeah, keep. If that's the case, then somebody tweet at him. Why is your fucking Facebook? Okay, we got a flop here, Marco. King 210.
No. Okay, ask him link, please. Ask him for the link. Link, please. Facebook page. Ben.
And the kid takes it down. I don't know if you guys noticed, but during the deal there was a request to speed up the blinds to 10 minutes. I don't know if that was done, but it seemed like the players wanted it.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
It'd be cool if they
you
could do that.
I was gonna say,
I don't see how they could.
You don't think that Isai has like a little wind-up clock back there that he can just kind of like turn it up? No?
Certainly not.
How's Pokerstars mobile? Anybody playing on the mobile version of Stars?
Being in Canada, I kind of want to try. I haven't had the opportunity or like any way or reason to use it yet or anything, but I want to try it because I'm in Canada. It's pretty sick.
Rupert?
I mostly use it for railing people when I'm traveling. But I have a friend who, whenever he's down to one table, he always just puts it on the iPad.
Yeah, I mean, I personally would just like walk around public and just, you know, scream and shit. You know, play like 2 cent, 5 cent, just go on fucking 8 monkey tilt and just scream and shit, you know.
And throw your iPad over a $10 bad bait.
That would be
Sounds
sick.
about right.
Good job, Ryan.
Have you seen the new Stars advert with Rafa Nadal where he's playing it on his phone?
No.
It's kinda
Yeah,
cool.
it's actually pretty cool. Has anyone seen him playing online, like, ever? I haven't seen him once.
I don't think he knows how to play. I'm not sure.
I was gonna say, what does he play? Like, I've never seen him either. Like,
Yeah, I've never seen him on either.
You know, I think it'd be cool if that'd be a great publicity stunt if he was playing in a tennis match and during like breaks, you know, because isn't Nadal the one that's like so known for like taking a long time in services and shit like that, always wiping himself and, you know, like doing stupid shit? Isn't that, he's known for that, isn't he? You guys are not tennis guys,
And
but
my tennis knowledge isn't great.
okay, I think he is. I think
yeah,
he's known
I do.
for taking a long time between points and all that shit. So wouldn't it be funny though if he actually like pulled out his iPhone or his iPad and like fucking started grinding on stars in the middle of like a finals match?
That would be pretty unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care how
I
good
wonder
the commercial is. I think that would be way better publicity.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I wonder what obligations he has, like beyond commercials, because I don't think he can wear a patch or anything while he's playing tennis.
Can you? Are you sure?
I haven't seen him at any tournaments yet, so.
I wonder if that's a
I don't know.
rule.
Maybe he can wear a patch. That would be pretty crazy if he's in the Wimbledon final with a Pokerstars patch.
Well, I mean, you know, I guess there's a big difference because it's gambling, but I mean, you know, all the guys that are wearing the Nike or the, you know, the Prince or anything that has to do with, you know, tennis, and you gotta wonder.
Yeah, but I feel like while they're playing, they don't really do that sort of stuff. Like Michael Phelps doesn't really have like a Subway logo on his Speedos or whatever.
Well, hold on a second though. That's a lot different. We're talking, you know, Olympics where it's supposed to be just a sports competition, not where people are making, you know, money from it. It's not like the Olympics committee pays first place, right?
True. Well, okay. What about like Tiger Woods? He doesn't really like have Accenture logos or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think
Well,
I think that's just a sign of the superstars you're talking about. I mean, if he can go ahead and not have to wear, you know, that's just the endorsement deals he's signing, right? And I think, you know, you're probably onto something with golf and tennis because they're very prestigious events. You know, like it was shocking when Tiger came out and was wearing all those colorful uniforms, and the same with like the Serena. The Williams, the sisters there, you know, they were wearing all this Nike crazy stuff. You know, it's supposed to be like a very proper, you know, all-white sport of tennis. So I don't know. I'm not sure. Now, on NASCAR, you know, there's a complete polar opposite, right? Like, a NASCAR, or you know, F1 for all of the international listeners, I mean, that one, they just splatter shit all over the place, so.
Yeah, that's
so
what
gross.
I wonder if Rafa will show up at the PCA. That would be pretty cool.
I think he has to. Like, I mean, that would just be, that's just what they should
It
be
is
doing.
like their flagship event, so.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess, you know what would be an easy way to do this, Rupert, would just be to cross-check what tennis tournaments are going on at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, PCA, I mean, it's like, I think it's like a week before the Aussie Open.
Oh,
so
yeah,
it's definitely not a major on.
Yeah, but that's a lot of traveling if he wants to get there early and get set up. I mean, who knows?
Hey, we all do it.
Yeah, exactly.
PCA and Aussie Millions.
Do you think, as far as his tennis career is concerned, like Pokerstars is like one of his biggest like endorsements or sponsors or whatever? You think he has like bigger endorsements or sponsorships through tennis?
Has to, man, because
Stars?
Rupert just brought up a great point where like he doesn't even have to wear this when he plays, or at least allegedly, we're not sure yet. But no, you mean you got to think that Nike or whoever the hell he's sponsored by is paying him way.
Yeah, for sure. That's what I was thinking. Like he would never wear a patch like in a tennis match because he has so much other shit. Like he would rather, you know, endorse.
I heard the number 10 million thrown around amongst various whispers, but I have no, you know, way of verifying that or anything.
Wow. I would say that's kind of high, personally.
I mean, I think that would almost certainly be higher than any actual poker player.
Well,
But
I don't know about
Rafa
that.
Nadal is a huge name.
That's a fraction.
Well,
of
I think it's. I assume Negreanu is getting paid higher than 10 million a year.
Yeah, I mean, I have no idea.
I don't know.
I highly doubt that if they pick up someone like Nadal, that he's going to get paid more than Negreanu.
And just to be fair, for all of the people out there that are wondering who I was suggesting makes more And like I said, 10 million was a fraction. I think two names that come to mind are a man who's going to be revealing his interview tomorrow, Howard Lederer, and Chris Ferguson. I think those guys.
I meant other than ownership of a company.
Well, okay, true. I was kind of joking, Rupert. 'Cause I don't really think those two made that money. I think they kind of just ended up with it.
Yeah, right.
So this is as boring as it gets. Thank God we can hold a conversation, because this is this is the worst I've seen, Marco, in a long time. Isai, if you're listening, turn up the blinds.
Yeah, definitely. I'm pretty tired and kind of out of it at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, I think we could go back to talking about the guy who works for us and see if he's updated any of the podcasts. You know, I think that's more relevant at this point. I've heard some stories that he's already changed his Facebook. Marco,
Yeah,
are these reports true?
Yeah, it's true.
So
I just tweeted at him, and because he says, "Not the same site, guys. Enjoy your work, though." And then, of course, he changed it. So I just tweeted him, and I said, I don't even know what I said. I said something like, "You mean there's another poker site named QuadJacks that just so happens to have our same Facebook page? Where's the link?"
Right.
So I'm hoping for a link here. Somebody said, I think somebody in chat said QuadJacks.eu, maybe.
Well, it's funny too. Like, you know, the statement that you tweeted is like him pretty much saying, "Oh, the only stuff I know about poker is from the company I work for, QuadJacks." I mean, yeah, there is a guy on Twitter named QuadJacks.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, okay. That guy has nothing to do with poker. I think that guy has been on Twitter for longer than we did.
Yeah, dude, he's been around forever. And
that's why we had to go with @QuadJacks.com, because of that guy. Whom for a while we were playing with the idea of having him on the program, because for a while that guy gets a ton of mentions.
Oh, dude, he got a ton of
for us.
He picked up so many followers because his name's fucking QuadJacks, you know. I tweeted at him. He responded at one point, but then he went dark. He's living off the Twitter grid at this point, Marco.
I don't know. He's really into that whole
following
teams. Back stuff.
Yeah.
Wow.
I personally,
and some people follow.
I honestly think that's one of the worst things ever. You know, this team follow back hashtag bullshit. I don't subscribe to it at all. I think that follow Fridays are the fucking worst thing ever invented. You know,
follow Friday.
Yeah, I mean, I could give a fuck who you tell me I should follow. You know what I mean? I probably should shut up here, Marco. This is very boring, though.
No.
Well, if you guys want a really good conversation, you can have Marco discuss the art of Twitter. Yeah, we had a pretty interesting discussion on it, and I thought it was.
Was this public or was this private?
No, I gave Ryan some private pointers.
Yes, please.
And quite honestly,
we're coming out with an ebook.
Twitter coaching.
Yes, I mean Marco's got an ebook coming. You know, he's taken a page out of Jared Tendler's ebook.
Well, look, I mean, I know Twitter pretty well, and I have good surveillance techniques. That's why I can, discover when people are going around telling people they work for QuadJacks.
Yeah, but did you tell Ryan the true nature of your Twitter abilities? Like, did you really tell him how you're so? Yeah, did you tell him what the key to your success is?
The key to my success?
Yeah.
I didn't. Which one are you referring to?
Oh,
I think this is a level.
It's a single, just a single one here, Marco. His name's Benjamin Bravado, and he's at Bren Truppen.
Well, that's right. Well, yeah. Well, he does all the social media,
exactly.
Right? Here, let's go back to it.
And some of the audio, right?
Yes.
Well, that's the problem. Like, Benny earlier in chat was like, my audio just crapped out. Benny, I'm sorry, but we had to fire another Ben. Okay? So, when he did that...
Marco, Bluff These Nuts wants to know, what's your hourly for Twitter coaching?
You know what? Like, I'm a fucking badass on Twitter, okay? I get Twitter like few other people do in poker, especially in poker.
Yeah, I think, Marco, I'll answer
probably
that.
Get away.
107.
It depends on what you want to do. I can probably get away.
107
what do you
hour.
charge? 200, Ryan, an hour, or 100?
100.
I'm pretty cheap, just 100.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be pretty cheap as well and say 150.
There you go.
I was getting you cheap, Marco. I was saying $107. I think that'd be pretty adequate, especially because if you've ever listened to Marco talk, you're probably going to get 2 questions in that hour. But you know.
So effectively, your Twitter coaching is more valuable than Ryan's poker coaching.
Oh yes, of course.
Well, Twitter's more important, obviously. You know, fame and fortune going together.
Well, I think Ryan and I could work out an affiliate program whereby I help him boost his Twitter, and you know, he cuts me in to some of the people I send his way with the Twitter, you know. But that's true though. I mean, like some people on Twitter are so lost, and some of these are supposedly people who are good at Twitter. And it's funny because like I'm not. You know what? I am not really a big deal in poker. I'm not. There are people who are much more important than me and much better known, and they've been around Twitter for longer, and they even tweet almost as much, and I outfollow them like 5 to 1, 6 to 1.
What do you mean? Like you follow more people than they do?
No, I have more followers than they do.
Okay, because you said that you outfollow them. Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
I have them outfollowed. How about that?
Yeah, okay. You have more followers than they do by 5 to 1.
I have more followers
There
than
you
they
go.
do. And I'm not saying this as a brag.
Yes, it is. This is all about sick brags.
It's meant to be a testimony to my Twitter prowess.
No,
Dude, I would
Marco.
love to have that many followers. I have like 10 or 15.
You don't have that.
Well,
How
you
many
know, let's-
followers?
let's-
How
let's
many
have a
followers
session.
do you have, Marco?
I'm coming up on 3,500.
Wow, that's a lot.
Oh, that's-
I think no, it isn't really. It's not even that many followers. That's what I'm saying, though. Like everyone on this panel is probably better known in poker, or should be better known, or at least better trusted in the poker scene. And poker is actually a very big community for Twitter. I think it's as far as like Twitter community is on Twitter. Poker's really into it, you know, because you have so many people online and people use it so much to update, you know, their Twitter. And so everyone on this panel should have more followers than I do. Why is that not the case? Because, you know, you guys spend more of your time focusing on poker correctly than me.
Twitter
You know,
correctly?
I have to ask this, Marco. I mean, you know, we don't. Jono, how's the weed up in Canada?
It's like the best shit ever.
Okay, I was wondering what the coughing was, Marco. I just had to throw it out there.
Oh, sorry. Oh, I thought I was on mute. I didn't even realize that.
Well, a few minutes ago, I did say I heard somebody say roll up a gagger or something like that. So now there's gagging.
So I said roll up gang. I said roll up gang to my little brother just to tell him to roll up something.
Fair enough. Continue, Marco. I apologize.
No, that's
Pot
it.
and poker seem
That's
to
it.
go hand in hand. Pot,
Yeah.
poker, drugs, degeneracy in general. I think I'm like the nittiest nit ever.
Yeah, I always questioned, you know, when friends of mine would light up the Bob Marley and you know, have the adult cigarettes while they played, and you know, always looked down on people who would drink, and I always wondered, you know, like, why is it that you can get high and be cool, but you know, I can't get shit-faced plastered and still play, because you know, they would smoke so much. But yeah, I don't think it's a good deal to be high and playing. Yeah, that's
yeah,
a
it's nothing I
silence.
ever do.
There's a silence,
I'm sometimes hungover when I play, but that's about it.
yeah, I mean, I just think
I would much rather be high than hungover.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think-
I tend to agree, but I don't know.
I really think that being high and playing poker is really, really bad for you in general. Like, one of my friends, like, used to smoke, like, pretty much every single day and grind, and he says, like, like he could play, like, fine when he was high, and he didn't think it made much of a difference. But after being sober for 2 weeks, and having the THC and whatever out of his system, and now playing, like, it's night and day. Like, he can actually play really well, stay focused for really long.
I wonder.
Like, I have nothing against smoking pot or anything like that, but I think in general that if you treat it like alcohol, like, it'll be fine. So, you know, get blazed, like, once a week, and then, like, you know, have a hit now and then every day. But if you're going to get blazed every single day, it's going to have really bad long-term effects.
Yeah, I mean, and we're not playing, you know, like the board games here for fun. You're playing for money, you know, and big money at sometimes. Yeah. I wonder if the person we're speaking of, we could talk offline, is the same person, because I've heard the same thing from a friend of mine that was a, you know, daily, if not every 20 seconds smoker, you know, for the whole time they grinded. And I used to say, like, you know,
there's probably more than just one person out there. There's like a whole bunch of people that do
and
stuff
thank
like
God,
that. I mean, I don't smoke that much while I play. Like, I have no tables up right now.
Hey, I'm not, Jono, I'm not your father. You can smoke as much as you want, sir.
Yeah, for sure. I'd smoke whenever I feel like it, but I don't know. I guess it's just dependent. I don't get high and play because I'd probably fall asleep in like 20 minutes.
Well, yeah, and I mean, don't you think that you can make, at the end of the day, like what Ryan just said, after a couple of weeks of being off of it, the guy that was, off of it's going, holy shit, I play so much better now. Well, no shit, you were high the whole fucking time. I don't know.
Yeah, I could definitely see that, for sure. Like, why wouldn't you be able to play high or play better when you're clear-headed or whatever?
Yeah, I mean, and especially we brought this up, Marco. I don't know if you can find those links to this summer, but when we asked that sparked a lot of debate, didn't it? Wasn't it Alan Kessler who brought it up, Marco?
Yeah. Well, it began because this guy named Recci, who has a real name and I forget it, he got banned from the Venetian for lighting up in the parking lot, and it started a thread on 2+2, and of course Kessler got involved because how does the song go? If something bugs him, he posts on News, Views, and Gossip. So he's all over that.
Right.
And I think he asked to express himself on it.
Oh,
he came over and said, "I want to do an interview."
Right.
Yes.
There's something that bothers me, I wrote a thread about it. I don't know. It's it's News, Views, and Gossip.
There you go.
Love it.
So
yeah,
and then that got the debate going.
Look at
I
these
could never
guys.
find a pothead to make a case for,
Well, didn't David Plastic kind of come in and talk about it?
No, he agreed with Kessler. He said it's a bad idea, and it is a bad idea. And the problem is, like, people are confused because yes, like when you don't smoke weed, the adjustment is what's fucking with you. It's what it's interfering with you. It's not so much that you don't have weed anymore. I mean, yes, you don't, but that's not what's making your play bad. You've just gotten yourself so used to playing with this, optic, with these gears, that of course when you remove them, some adjustment is in order. But like you said, who was it? Someone just said Ryan, maybe one of his friends, overcame that. And yeah, I just don't see, unless in very extreme circumstances where maybe someone has.
Well, and I think, listen, for guys
a condition you treat with medical marijuana, but
I think that listen, the guys that are on our panel right now, I think it's great for them that a lot of these players are out there smoking themselves silly day in and day out, playing such big buy-in tournaments, because it makes it easier for them to make key decisions, Marco.
I'm curious about what came first, the heavy weed use or the poker. Like, were these guys potheads before they took up poker?
I think so, dude.
Or,
I do.
Pretty much all of them were.
Yeah.
I didn't smoke my first anything until like last year. Like, so I guess like a year. Was the first time I smoked. I've been playing poker for like 3 years.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
I would expect that to be the exception.
No, for sure. I actually never even tried it my entire life until like last year.
Yeah, I've never tried pot myself. I've never been drunk doing it. I am A-like. I think it's actually a pretty big advantage for me it's kind of in the poker environment.
No vices. It must be nice. Pretty sick.
Yeah, Ryan, that's worth tweeting. You've never.
Just means I'm boring. I'm more.
No. All right. Anyway, so we're heads up. I would like to say, by the way, thank you to all who are keeping the great @BenTurpin tweets coming. I was just looking at some of these. Phil McAllister @Grindation. Love the work you've done at QuadJacks. I'm sorry to hear that they let you go. Big fan of your work, Ben. Please link me to some of your latest stuff. Yeah, thanks, guys. This is really cool. This guy's probably so embarrassed, and he should be, because he's a fucking idiot. Okay, what do we got here? It came down to Harem versus Alan the Kid. Now, when we came into this final table, I know we were all speculating on how long it would take. I know we looked at a lot of the players and tried to think to ourselves, like we didn't recognize a lot of them. Does this look plausible? Is it because one of the last final tables we did, one of the guys who sets up, Ryan, I think, remembers this, seemed like he had no business playing poker at all at some points. I don't mean to denigrate him too much, although everyone else did. What do you make of these two? I think Alan the Kid demonstrated enough aggression early on to, make it seem like he merited this coming this far. What about Harem?
Yeah, I think both of these guys really earned their top 2 finishes. Both of them fought really, really hard. Even Final Table Bubble, both of them seemed to be fighting pretty hard to gain chips. And Haram definitely seemed to be the most active player at the Final Table by a pretty long shot. And Alan was pretty aggressive as well. But I mean, I kind of think for the most part that Alan was more card racking than anything, while Haram was just trying to really build chips and trying to get stuff done. I don't think either of them... Wow, that was a pretty sick hero. And that just... I was going to say I don't think either of them like played poorly, but I didn't really think either of them had played great. But like, I think Haram had some leaks with like bet sizing and some other things. But
yeah, I was gonna say, as far as like
I do
bet
really
sizing,
like their aggression, overall aggression.
Yeah, I think like Alan the kid had like less bet sizing leaks, and I feel like he was very aggressive. Like he was doing a lot. I've seen a lot of 4-betting, like strong 4-bets from him. And it could have just been card racking, like you said, but Harem, it seemed like Harem wanted to do things, he just didn't know how to execute them as well. It seemed like.
Well, it'll be interesting to see who comes out on top. So, how much do we know how much these guys agreed to, and how much they've already got in their pocket, as opposed to how much they're playing for now?
I actually don't know.
Alan had agreed to the most, and I remember it being like around 380. I think it was somewhere up there. Yeah, no, it was higher than 345 because PIU was around 345, and Alan was getting a decent chunk more than that.
Okay.
So it might be like 360, and then Haram was getting like 280 or something like that, 290. Yeah, PIU got 335.
Check out Goral needling them. Goral is supposed to be the host in the Team Pro.
I'm sure he wants to get it done as much as we do.
Both had the nuts and there was no all-in. GL. Yeah, Goral is going to turn in his resignation after this as a Team Pro. Done.
I've never heard of him.
Who is Goral? I'm not even sure.
He's a Greek pro. I think he's a sit-and-go grinder who plays some MTTs. Seems to be like straightforward ABC net. No idea as to why he's a pro outside of the fact that he's Greek.
Well, that's probably exactly it, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly it.
Sorry if I missed anything important, guys. Looks like the chips...
No, nothing important.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, this is probably the most boring final table, and I think we actually might call it quits here, Marco, soon. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I'm down for ending it. Have a pretty long day tomorrow myself.
Yeah, exactly.
Lots of grinding.
You guys have got a ton of scoops to cover. I don't know, Marco, what do you think?
No, I could not disagree more. I think there's plenty of action to switch to. I think we should go right back to, of course, WCOOP-44, where among the 22 remaining in contention are... nobody I recognize, but didn't somebody post in our chat that...
Yeah, I made a somewhat deep run in it and ran ace-queen into aces in the money for a pretty large pot in a very standard spot.
Okay, so you probably can't wait to get right back to it.
Oh yeah, definitely. So excited.
Marco, let's go through and thank our hosts. I think we could probably shoot the shit for a couple minutes after we let them go, but they've got to go to bed, Marco. They've got tournaments to play.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're letting them go now.
I think so. I mean, this is
okay.
This is like paint drying at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty slow. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, many thanks to Ben for saving this final table at some point. You know, I mean.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
All right. Well, listen. Yeah, I would definitely like to say. Many thanks to all of our commentators here. It's always a great pleasure to have Ryan on with us. Yeah. Ryan, when this is all over, I think we are going to be assigning some awards, and you're going to be sweeping them. You know, the QuadJacks TV Awards, and I just want to really single out Ryan, if I have the chance here. Since we began doing this, he's been so helpful. He's always been so available and eager to help out. And I just have to say, Ryan, we're all here at QuadJacks. We're all the better off because of you.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it a lot. I've had a lot of fun doing these commentaries. I'm sure everyone who I've convinced to come on with me has enjoyed them greatly as well. If everyone who's listening has enjoyed my commentary and the 1K and the 10K recently, I'll be posting videos soon to floattheturn.com. You want to check it out? It's cheap to join and nice, and yeah, it's a great site. It's Jonathan Little's site. In fact, Jonathan and myself will likely be doing the main event final table, so that should definitely be something that you should check out on the 24th.
Hear, hear.
Had a lot of fun doing this, guys. Thank you so much, and I'll see everyone later.
Get some sleep,
All right,
Ryan,
buddy.
and final table something so we can commentate on all the mistakes you make.
I'd love for that to happen. I'd love for that to happen.
I'm
Maybe
joking.
it'll be the main.
Yeah, I'm joking about the mistakes, but yeah, please get some rest and good luck tomorrow, and may the flops and turns and rivers be with you, sir.
Thank you.
And now I would like to move on to our newcomers,
Yeah,
our
please,
debutants.
Rupert
if
first.
That's what it means to make it the butt.
Rupert
Rupert,
first.
Ruperte.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, Rupert. You know, I'm so glad you and both you and John agreed to come here on QuadJacks TV. Really enjoyed having you. And you know, despite the fact that it was a little slow sometimes, we hope you had a good time as well. We hope you enjoyed yourselves, and we hope that you will consider coming on again at some point here on QuadJacks TV and favor with your presence.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. Thanks very much for having me on. I'd love to do it again.
Rupert,
And
quick
good luck.
question.
And
Marco,
yeah.
if I may, just before you
Sure.
see him off. Rupert, do you know Sam Grafton?
I do, yes. I'm good friends with Sam.
Okay, can you guys do, maybe even 30 minutes of a power, hour, or power 30 minutes, of coverage? I just want to hear Sam yell again. I miss hearing Sam yell.
That guy is crazy. He is, as in his own words, he is off his lid.
Yeah,
So.
I think that would be amazing. See what you can do. I miss Sam, Marco, and I think that it'd be great to have Rupert and Sam.
We're finished. We have a winner.
What the fuck?
Ryan, come back.
Yeah, Ryan, what the hell? You're supposed to call out the action. So congratulations.
They knew we were ending it.
Yeah, they must be listening. So it looks like the kid ended up pulling in the extra 25,000 plus the bracelet, guys. I'm pretty sure we're going to see that on eBay pretty soon. I don't know. All right.
Listen, Rupert, thanks so much for staying up to be with us. And listen, Rupert, it's very important. We are recommending to all of our listeners, who are all very thankful to you as well, to follow you on Twitter. So please have something for them worth reading, Rupert. If you have been lackluster on Twitter, which I don't think you have, I've been following you. You seem pretty
I'll have to fire a few hours of your coaching, I think.
I'd be happy to provide it. But thanks so much, Rupert. Have a good morning.
Rupert has a website as well, Marco.
Oh, sure. What is it?
RupertElder.com.
Yeah.
It's just my...
Elder.com.
Yep, very, very creative.
That's fine. Well, what else should it be called? You don't want to confuse people, okay?
That's true.
Now, listen. You may want to search it in Twitter a couple of times. You never know when Ben might suddenly decide that he updates the site regularly when you are away playing tournaments.
Yeah, he does the audio on my website. So the non-existent video.
Rupert, you're such a charmer. Very happy.
Very much.
That's you. Good luck, and let us know if there's anything.
I appreciate you guys letting me come out.
John, I was going to
Yeah,
get to you.
hold on a second, John.
Gonna
There's
get-
a reason you're last, sir.
Yeah, we need your help with your Twitter again.
Yeah.
Ball,
Okay, I understand.
all day
But
13.
no, Rupert, thank you so much. Have a
12.
good night, Rupert. And hopefully we can see you deep in one of these tournaments, and best of luck. I think Rupert's already gone. All right. Jono, you're last. You know, you don't usually smoke when you play, but there's been a little bit of extracurricular activities tonight, so I figured you had the patience, Marco, to stay with us to be our final. What?
Oh, I do for sure. I actually was confused. I thought you guys started talking to me. I'm actually sorry about that.
But no, they can follow you, sir, and I think that you're probably a good follow, and that is at. And they can see this on the screen. It's pretty big. You're in the middle. You guys are both looking kind of strange at Ryan in this picture we're looking at right now. I wonder what he said.
I know, that is weird placement. I do love the picture that I look.
It's funny when I can get them where you guys are both looking one way. I put it the other way and it just looked kind of strange. So at ball all day 1-2_3 G Marco.
Got it.
Yeah. And that's,
all right, I'm going to have to follow that as well.
Yes, of course. And so, yes, thank you so much,
there it is.
Jono. Enjoy Toronto, man. Enjoy Mississauga. Get out and experience the culture and have some fun up in Canada. It's a great place, and it sure kicks the shit out of Costa Rica in the summer, not the winter. So hopefully you brought some warm clothes.
Yeah, man. All right, I'll definitely get out and do that. I appreciate you guys letting me come on and do this. I'll definitely try to come back on if you guys will have me.
Of course.
Absolutely, John. Let's keep in touch as well.
Thank you,
Do
John.
you have a
For sure.
website we could direct our followers to
Yes.
as well?
No, but I guess I should make one. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. Hightimes.com.
You're balling all day. Like, people should not be seeking my technique on tweeting. Rather, I think I'd
know.
rather learn about balling.
Yes.